The Christmas cookies are ready. Leave them right here under the tree for
Santa or for CIBC Caribbean.
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
Win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4, you could get it all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with Pick 3 and $10,000 with Pick 4 when you play the Mega Ball.
You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? Then get on the ball.
Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 and over to play.
Good morning, and how are we doing this morning? It's just about 11 minutes after the hour of 8. Welcome to today's edition of Island Tea. We are on your FM dial at 98.9. We're being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Just to remind you of our numbers, our local number is 466-0989. In the U.S., 1-305-921-4619 or 1-718-285-6984. In the UK, it's 0333-440065. To all our regular listeners, Auntie Katie, Sherry over there in the Bahamas, I'm praying for the country. To Gwyneth, to Skeeter, to Cleo, everybody that joins us every morning, Gawain, Colin, Mishi, everybody that tunes in every morning, welcome to today's program. Quint, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I am doing better than yesterday.
That's a good thing.
Yes, indeed. And to start this morning, I don't want to start on the bummy notes, but I want to start with something good. Well, I don't know, it might be good for me, but I don't know if it's going to stand out for others. But I had two persons this week that stood out to me. The first being a young lady. She's a waitress at Carambola. Her name is Nelly. Her service was superb. She did it with pride. She did her work with love. She showed that the field that she's in is something that she enjoys. Even if you ask her for something, like, I'm going to over-exaggerate, 50 times, she says it with a smile. She comes back, she checks on you, she asks questions, and these are the things that I enjoy because I love customer service. I try my best to give good customer service. So when I get it, I just want to make sure I pay homage to the person that gave it to me. So Nelly, keep up the good work. So folks, if you go to Carambola, you can ask for Nelly. She's an excellent waitress, and as I said, she excels at what she does. So Carambola, you got a good one. And Model Cop, Shaq. Now, his clips always pop up on my phone, and I must say I enjoy it, especially him running into his good friend Mary. I saw a clip where he literally ran into her yesterday at Development Bank. I didn't get to watch the clip in its entirety, but I enjoy those clips, Shaq, with you and Mary and with whomever you spoke to. But in particular, I saw one this morning that really touched me, and that was the one where you highlighted the prisoners at the correctional facility here in Bastyr. And as one of the prisoners says, he doesn't like the term prison, so he's going to say correctional, so I'm going to follow him and say correctional facilities. And it's good to see that the gentlemen are doing better. I know we all err, we all make mistakes. Sometimes we be like, they don't care, they look for that. But when I look and see the good that they're doing, they're playing music, they're singing. Sometimes I say, boy, you all have all these talents, why you all in there? But, you know, sometimes people make decisions that aren't the best in the moment when things happen. They had an inmate that prayed. He also mentioned he was always in solitary confinement, but once he found the Lord, he's back. He can't believe that he's back in general population and doing well. And then there's this other inmate that asked for help. So I hope for those who can help them in terms of getting the items they need for their music club, including a roof, because they say they have to cover down their items with plastic bags when rain falls. We can help them out. Some may never come back out into society, some may, once they would have improved, but if Jesus can forgive, so can we. So let us help in whatever way that we can. And to the young men that are at the correctional facilities, please keep doing well. For the ones that are saved, I pray for you all the time that you evangelize others, and I see that is happening. So that is very good of you. So Shaq, kudos for always bringing us the tea, be it good or bad or inspirational. So those are the two individuals that stood out to me for this week. Quint, what about you?
Me? I don't even know. My mind is all over the place right now, so
Oh
give
boy.
me a break on this one.
Okay.
I'm not really right here right now.
Okay, all right. So I'll give you a break on that one. But to go into the news, oh my gosh, everywhere is problems. To the folks in Jamaica, oh my gosh. Quint, I don't know what you would have seen or if you saw anything, but the Prime Minister did an aerial tour. And boy, that place is a mess. That place is a mess. I see hospitals destroyed, homes destroyed. I see people crying. I see they had like where I don't know if they call it a landslide because it wasn't high, but where the land, like it just dropped into the water. I saw a car went into the water. I saw the animals running away from that. So I said, look at this. Then I saw a lot of roofs going. I saw hospital ward. They lost a lot of galvanized and a lot of roof, so they were evacuating their patients. And to see that the ward that the patients were in was once an active ward, and you see the mess and the devastation, people's houses, you see people crying. Of course, you have some people that think it's okay to loot. Come on, people, this is not the time. We need to help each other to rebuild. So to the folks in Jamaica, we'll continue to pray for you. We empathize with what you're going through right now, and it's only for a time, but better days will come. I just think we should be more grateful that we have life, because we can always replace things that we would have lost, even though they are sentimental.
Yeah, we have a caller.
Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Hey, good morning to the world.
Good morning,
Morning,
right
Miss
back
Henry.
at you.
How are you doing?
I'm giving God thanks. As you were talking about Jamaica, I've been keeping up by listening to the two Jamaican radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
And it breaks my heart. You know, some of us don't take no heed. Some today moving, they don't want nobody loot the place.
Yeah, that's a sad thing.
You know, you got to watch it. I know sometimes when people struggle hard to get what they get, and they have looting. It happened even in St. Vincent when they had the volcano. Sometimes they move in. Or when they come back, or where they have gone. That's why Jesus said, store up your things above here.
Yep.
You don't mean send your fridge and your thing, mean put your trust
Yep.
in God.
Yeah.
You know, even the Prime Minister and your whole thing say, look, I spending all my time on my knees. And I could understand when you have a country destroyed like that.
Yeah.
You don't have the means to meet people's needs. It's more than what you could do. The infrastructure, the electricity.
Yep.
In a lot of cases, the phones were down. People can't get in contact with other people. So to all the Jamaicans at home and abroad, our prayers are with you. I love Jamaica. I lived there for 2 years. And I found them very nice people. Those are some of my best days.
Okay.
And then Cuba.
Oh, yes.
You know, we tend to ignore it, you know. Cuba has got some serious hurricane damage, you know.
Yeah.
And, well, the U.S. controls a lot of the stations they don't mention. Eastern Cuba got it as a category 4, I think, 4 or 3.
I think I heard 4, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, because some of the buildings are very old.
Yep.
My heart goes out to the Cubans and our students here. Did they bring them out, or they brought out some of them from Jamaica?
I'm not sure.
And
I didn't hear
Bahamas.
anything about Cube.
It's another place I like, you know.
Bahamas?
Hmm.
Okay.
I went there, I think it's Providence Island. Nassau is in Providence, right?
I am not quite
Yes.
not quite sure.
Mm-hmm. Talk about good service, man, I tell you. Good service. We stayed at this hotel here where they have all the nice hotels. And this sand looked like conch shell. You know that pink thing?
Yeah.
Man, I know the sand looks so pink. And the service. When we said, I want something local, the lady brought back conchs. You know the conchs? I
Yeah.
didn't know if you could eat conchs, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the local whatever dish.
Delicacies. Which one did you have? The conch salad or the crack conch?
So you ate it raw?
Yeah, I think it came in pepper sauce or something like that.
Wow.
She did not say what state it was in, but you know how we just cook them here.
And you ate it raw?
Yeah, that's what I
Wow.
do.
Not me.
It went in the mouth, you know.
I
You
can't
understand?
eat, I can't eat
I don't
any
know
meat
what they
that is
do
raw.
to it, but it tastes really good.
Well, that's for you.
It's like a ceviche.
I've never eaten sushi, and I will never eat sushi because anything that is not cooked that I feel should be cooked, I won't eat it.
You could eat
But
sushi
it may be-
here,
it may-
because
it
sushi
may be
here is
mixed
not
with salad
sushi
and when
sushi.
you
to
You
me.
heard what I said?
It's cooked. That's what I'm telling you. That's why you could eat this one here, because the sushi here is not like the authentic sushi you get.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah.
I just said the same thing, you know, give me warm the bean fish.
When I was young, there was this man over in Connery. We used to call him Tall Boy because he was like a lamppost. And back in those days, when people in the village would butcher maybe a pig or a cow or whatever, we would watch him butcher, and he would slice off a big piece of the meat from whatever and eat it raw. Whether it was a cow, a pig, or whatever, and
Wow.
I'm going to give you a joke. When I was in Jamaica, we went to this restaurant. You know my friends were Jamaicans.
Mm.
And they go and they order this beef story. How would you like it? The idea of eating meat with blood in it, to me, is repulsive.
To me too.
Yeah, you know, I said, no wonder cannibalism is easy. And so when mine came, I tell him, I would like to have mine fully cooked, please. Somebody watching me said, no, darling, I don't eat blood like that. But you know, you get new experiences the more you travel.
Yeah.
Now, so my heart goes out to all who are suffering.
Yeah, ours too.
Yeah, and our prayers. When I heard that they found a family of 3 dead, I think it's down in St. Elizabeth.
St. Elizabeth seemed to have gotten the most damage, Miss Henry.
Yeah, because remember they were damaged last July. When the hurricane went in India.
I didn't know that.
Remember that? Yeah, whatever.
I don't remember that, to be honest.
Yeah, man, it damaged the place. The farmers lost their crops and everything, because down this agricultural area.
Yeah.
I've been down that way. You know, and I said, God, I would have moved from down here. If you keep getting hit, you know?
Yeah.
And you never know who until when the thing blood on the fence.
Yeah.
A lot of high fence and galvanized fence. And a lot of the poor people, Lord, everything exposed now. And you wonder, what are we going to do?
Yep,
But I know that some people will send, but this person was saying, look, you send your old things them to the people on the radio. If you're not good enough, you don't send it. I know some people do that, right?
Yep.
When they hear say they're sending everything. But I don't wear that no more. And they're trying. And the shoes them already he's dropping off, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't give
You
people
can give
bad
at least
stuff.
give what? Hello?
I said don't give people bad stuff.
I forget to just call it in Jamaica. You will send your trolley.
Prags. Some people
No,
say
just,
prags.
let me, I'm done now. Let me, belated birthday to Journey. He told me birthday was last week. So he didn't tell me, Mom, you could have celebrated on the radio. God has been, I didn't ask him how old he is. But God has been good. Now we got to be careful what we say about people, you know. Called me, I started with Andrew Holmes, he's a dog. A old dog.
Well, you know, people sometimes say things, not that they really might mean that he's a dog, but they're angry, for instance.
I know,
and they say, well, boy,
that's a figurative speech.
Yeah.
So what he was saying is that the Americans were trying to use Andrew Holness to get Ibrahim Lim to come back into ECOWAS.
Yeah.
So you don't have history. So if you don't have history, why you calling him and those derogatory names?
Who said that? Who was calling him derogatory?
My good friend Johnny. Johnny is my friend, you know. We talk a lot on the phone. Cause you know, he's all enamored over as a boy. While I may like things, my Bible don't want me about human beings, you know. You could never fully swear by any human being, not him yourself.
That's true.
I said, look, where things start, look at the history of a lot of people. Even in America, the same people were willing to enslave the Africans, you know. And about Thanksgiving coming up. Thanksgiving was the Indian.
We have hold a minute, Miss Henry. We have another caller. Hello, caller.
Good morning, guys. How are you guys? Good morning, Miss Henry.
Good morning.
We're
Morning,
fine.
darling.
And the Jamaican call it Old Brock.
Oh, yeah, nothing.
They don't say us your Old Brock. but because I'm around them, where I live in Connecticut, I'm around all Jamaican because my church is all Jamaican. I'm like, it was like two of us and a Spanish that is not Jamaican. But they are, to me, they are very proud because sometimes when we collecting, they would say, I think one time they had a hurricane or whatever, and they were collecting clothes and stuff, and, oh, we don't want to use clothes, bring new clothes. Hello, you don't want to use clothes? Too bad for you, because if you need it, like for me, example, right? I have, I mean, it's terrible. I have clothes upon clothes upon clothes, can't fit me, can't fit my granddaughter, and some of them brand new with tags, and I take, even the used one, I take very good care of my clothes and my granddaughter clothes. Some of them she wear once. And at one time I was going to give them some stuff, but the attitude, I said no. No. Because we don't want none of your old broke. Boy, new stuff. You can buy the new stuff then.
Well, I mean, you might say it is attitude, but we all have a sense of pride, and you know. Right. So.
Well, look me, pride goes before the fall. Beggars cannot be choosers. As long as they're in good condition. And when I tell you my clothes are in good condition,
I like Miss Henry in the background, like the chorus. She said, "For you."
No. Look me. When you need something, you're in need. You don't complain, and that's what I find with them. That's why when they have collecting stuff for them, I don't give them my stuff, and I can because I have a lot. I have bims and bims and bims and clothes just put down because they cannot fit me.
Sound like you need a
I
jumbo
plan
sale,
to
Cleo.
I just said maybe I need to put them in a barrel and send them Sankey to the children home because I'm telling you, I could have a tag sale here if I want.
Yes, that's why I say have a jumbo sale, as we call it.
I don't have time for that.
Okay.
I rather send them home and give them to somebody. Cause let me tell you, I take very good care of my stuff. I have another granddaughter that can pass down stuff to. I don't even give her mom certain of my granddaughter that live with me church clothes because they don't take care of clothes. They wear the clothes and they shut them down. It bothers
But you
me.
know, exactly. But you know, when you give away things, you have to turn a blind eye to it because it's no longer yours.
No,
I understand where you're coming from. But you just have.
bothers me.
I know. You sound like somebody I know.
I don't even give my other granddaughter stuff because she wear the clothes, and especially my granddaughter church clothes. She wear the clothes every time you look. She take it out, shut them down, she start wear them around the house. No, so I don't certain stuff I don't give her.
Oh boy! Now she's gonna hear this, right?
She know that. Her mother know that. I'm like, no, you know I don't like to. You know, she know me. She know me. She know her mommy. She know. But anyway, sometimes we got to put pride aside.
Yep, indeed.
Especially in these crucial times, you put pride aside.
Amen.
I'll call back.
All right. So here I go again. I have to laugh, you know. My good friend Claire make me laugh. She sound like one of those when they say, to be back to change, go and leave sitting them. Them need to go leave. Now, what I wanted to talk about is yesterday. Talking about this press conference that was held by Honorable Brantley.
Yes.
If you stop to analyze the whole matter, the sponsors are the people who want to do the investment. They have been assured that it will go ahead. And as one person just said, saying to people like at 9 they talk. So they have been assured. People can talk and so much. When we start, they can hush and done enjoy.
I would agree with you. I think that is what they were told, you know. But
It's a strategy, yes.
yeah.
So when that one, then they bring all kind of technical people and professional people to bamboozle our people. To bamboozle, you know. You know, like when they go to IMF and they say they have a homegrown program, that's a lie. See how the homegrown go? In 2003, you ever hear about CARTAC, Caribbean?
Yeah, I this kind of vaguely, I kind of remember that term.
I know. It is a group put together by the World Bank, the IMF, and basically whatever. A lot of the countries were going through economic struggles. Some of them were making it, because sometimes I said that people get vexed. Were making. You got a bank account and you're accustomed to go eat out every month, and you see it dwindling. You wash out the pot, buy the things, and put them on the stove and cook it. You don't want to pretend to your neighbor that you're so well off. I don't eat at home. So we work ourselves into position. And of course, people have complained the IMF. A lot of the IMF is, they didn't call us, is we just go knock down the people's door.
You're right.
So, yeah, I know the story going on. So, they're sending people to help you to try and straighten out your dilemma. It's already homegrown. Now, because they come, because I just contended, I was part of the group, but then I was going to retire, so I sent another my worker, economists and whatnot. They said, well, all right, well, your expenditure exceeded your income. What would you suggest could be done to close the gap? And they give you certain You know, you could do VAT, you could do sales tax, you could increase, you know, you understand?
Yeah.
And they ask you to choose which one you want. Which one is easier to put on the people? And you have all kind of formula and equations, so on. Well, so it's like a man say, well, look, you don't say you're going to kill yourself, right? You're going to shoot yourself in the head. You're going to hang yourself. You're going to drown yourself. You follow?
Yeah.
All right. And that is when that was chosen, you know. If you search the internet, a scan vibe, you will see a case where I confronted Minister Harris and then when they were saying that they never just said hello. Since 2003, that was to come, you know. But it was too near to 2004, which is election. And they keep pushing it. And they tell, oh, you know, it's a homegrown program, homegrown effort. You're either going to hang yourself, shoot yourself, drown yourself, or let somebody do it for you. So all of these things, what they need is business. It's a done deal.
Well, a lot of individuals have that same feeling because that is what a lot of people are saying. The way of they're pushing forward and adamant. Yeah.
That is how they deal with us. If you could go and say in public, what you want, all age, you want money? No. You want a house? No. What you expect from people like that? And for the Prime Minister to say, that's news business. If you look back, a lot of times when he traveled, Mr. Brandt, he traveled with him. And in that same parliament, Dr. Denzel Douglas, who was the former Prime Minister, who is now the Minister of Investment and Economics, got up and said, well, you know, the program thing look like down at Whitegate, you know. I asked myself, who really approached the people first? Because he's well known in Dubai and all of those places, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Dr. Jutu said that, oh, he lied. No, I mustn't say he lied. He spoke the untruth. I will tell you what you must say. He speak the untruth. The matter is settled. All the protestation that I made him when they were doing the horse track. I said, who can bring horse to travel to race here? We were sending our horses to Trinidad and whatever. All of a sudden, the horses melt into the grass. The hounds have disappeared into the clouds. And the plane is sold to somebody else. A lot of them are looking for what we call land swapping. That's not the right word. All the thing about I pay, you pay, we pay. They have no over peninsula. Or it's called land speculation. That's the word.
Yes.
Land speculation. That's the correct word.
Yeah.
So you sell them for 5 cents. They come to some kind of excuse. Turn around and sell the same land for 50,000 for the acre. I'm just calling random numbers. So all the thing about if they pull out, they already own the land. You realize that?
Well, all I can say is I'll keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best. That's all I can say.
Not me.
Yeah.
You see.
I tend to be a bit of a people are puzzled sometimes when I say it, but I tend to be a bit of a an optimistic pessimist. And I say that because you notice I use optimistic first because I tend to be optimistic more than I would be pessimistic. But it's a combination of both.
It must be based on knowledge.
Yeah.
And experience. If you're not Tom and the thief and you're a thief and you're going to send down the shop, you're not optimistic, you're a fool. So I am saying that this thing is a habit. You want to tell me all of these buildings standing up, unfinished buildings, the government could take them over because they're now abandoned. These half-do hotels. As he said, the people who bought shares in them, they don't own anything because they have nothing to show. So the government could acquire them. Acquire the land.
Yeah.
And either get new sellers, new buyers for them, or use them for something else. They can be used. So all this thing about that's a lie. The thing that is traveling to show Mark what the world looked like. Mark was the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Yeah.
Anyway, he wanted to go, he would have gone. So the matter was discussed, not just now, but then. Watch me. We got to wise up. So just look out for it. Then they started, the truckers in St. Kitts and the this and the that. Well, when we were building the old one bay, the Nevis came over. But be honest. When they come to you, maybe they don't give a detailed plan. But when I heard, that is the man for the boy, bamboozle. All of these things should have been done and passed. The EAI, the environmental impact.
Yeah.
And they're going to do that and do that. Sometimes when they do them, the government advise the people, look, we want the project, I understand, but we want the project. So how they're reaching court with another one. So I am looking at the professionals and why this thing is well orchestrated. The only thing they didn't bring was a passion and a profit. And I hope that will quiet our people.
But let me ask you this, though. If I'm to follow what you're saying, that it is well orchestrated and perhaps now they're just trying to sell something over on us, do you feel that it is a right thing to do, though?
Well, it depends on the situation. It is right politically.
No, I disagree with you. Because if it is something that is...
Listen again. If you're able to convince everybody that this is a good idea, elections are due in 27.
I hear you on that, but I asked you personally from your own value system if it is a right thing to do.
Well, no, but the point is that you're not dealing with just value system.
Well, I like...
Dealing with reality. That these things are done, right? Remember, our CBI has sunk. The Lord help us to recover.
The question isn't that they are done. The thing is, should they be done? And I say no, they should not be done.
No, but remember that your value system is not theirs,
Well, you're right.
Politician value has one value: to get elected next time at any cost.
You're right. I concur on that.
So what is that? All I got to do, you see, look how they were building the new hospital.
Yeah.
And they're building Darcy High. All they have to go hire a bulldozer, dig to hole and call it that. The aim is to get re-elected. They don't care at whose cost.
Well, that is what I keep trying to tell people, even though I don't agree with it. I've been saying from the get-go that all of this is a pie-in-the-sky thing, and all they're looking at, the election is fast approaching. They haven't produced anything positive, and they still want to make sure they ensure that they win. So they're going to come with anything fantastic. The question is, will the people buy into it?
Watch, when you have such levels of poverty, something is better than nothing. If you can assure a man, look, you can get work, why not being able to work for a while? Or if he's working, the pay can't meet his needs. He's hoping,
But this is what... But that is, to me, that is why it is so disgraceful that our politicians would do such thing. I agree with you. The man or the woman or the boy or the girl out there who wants a job, they want to succeed in life. They have ambition. That is why yesterday I said they're using the psychology of ambition and greed. They're using it against the people. Yeah.
I'm telling you, because right now, they had a thing about the budget. I did not hear one item about how do we reduce the deficit. How do we close the gap between the revenue and the expenditure? Measure, they have to try the homegrown method, right?
Yeah. I
Come up
see.
with something that they could justify. I tell them long term heading back to the IMF. People blaming the IMF. The IMF don't call you, you know. It's like the bank, them saying, you can come and borrow and we take up your good hot self. Go down to the bank and lie and get you. And then the bank take your house and, oh, they like poor people's house. You understand?
Yeah.
So we don't put a lot of blame. Oh, the IMF, this and that. We don't know how it works. It is plain to see a lot of our countries carry themselves. We did. They start already. When Mr. Peter Adrian was talking about the accounts and whatever, the government situation, financial. And I was surprised to hear that the deficit had gone so high. I have been complaining already about this frequent borrowing and our inability right now to carry our debts. And as long as I get my 500, when they were giving the wallet bust or whatever story, I said that's a waste of money. And you're gonna give people who working for over 5,000, when the majority is working for 1,000 something. All of that is vote buying. Vote buying. And we have the thing for it.
But Sylvine, how do you, bearing in mind what you said about the man and the woman, the boy and the girl, the individuals who are ambitious but poor and striving to get better, bearing that in mind, why is it that we see, it seems the present-day politicians, they're comfortable with doing these things, as you and I agree, just to win an election, not seeming to care that 10 years, 20, 50 years down the line, next thing you know, if you continue in this vein where you're going to sell out mass patches of land for whatever kind of investment you say it is supposed to be, and these people are filthy rich, don't they care that eventually the very same people who were ambitious and wanting to strive and so find themselves as subservient for not only them, for generations into infinity?
On the part of the generation, in the 1950s and 60s, that problem was partly solved by migration. Partly, who didn't go to England, went to the U.S. Even to cut the same cane they were cutting here. When the Virgin Islands opened, young people went in droves. I recall reading the Commission of Inquiry into the sugar industry. And the plantation owners, estate owners, were complaining that the young people no longer wanted to work in the industry because every time the boat come, we see another one. Some didn't even know where they were going. They go on the boat, and if they're in St. Thomas, then St. Thomas, if they're in St. Croix, then St. Croix. And they were even trying to bring in more Bajans, because Bajans used to come to Cocaine. Although some young Bajans playing forward, you know? Yeah. Bajans, St. Lucian, the whole works.
Anyway, Sylvie, we're due, long overdue a commercial break, so we're gonna have.
And you could have stopped me a long time.
I kind of
Good
got.
morning, Greg.
I
Good
kind
morning,
of got
Greg. Good
caught up
morning,
in the
Journey.
conversation, so I
Good
kind of
morning,
got
everybody.
caught up in the
Please,
conversation.
Joel, please pray for the people who have been affected. Because today for them, tomorrow for us, eh?
Yeah.
All right then.
Okay, you take care.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20. Win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play.
Mommy, are you writing to Santa too?
You have Santa. I have CIBC Caribbean.
CIBC has sweetened the season so you can bring your holiday dreams to life and wrap a new home or land with incredible cashback deals. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
And we're back on Island T, and I'm just perusing and looking at the damages. Boy, listen, this will take a lot of time, especially in the Black River area. It just looks terrible. My gosh. And just to remind you that today the world's largest floating book fair will be here.
We have a caller.
Okay, caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Good morning to you, Hortensia.
Hi, Greg.
Good morning to you, Quint.
Good morning.
And good morning to all the listeners, and greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, through faith only, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. As usual, as I said, we need to become a republic and get out the British Commonwealth as quickly as possible, and the quicker we do that, the better. Now, first of all, I would like to say that there was an issue, but I forgot it. But the second issue that on my mind is this: where disasters and so are concerned, put it this other way: in times of national crisis and destruction and danger and that sort of stuff, in those times only, what we call price gouging is really something that is very good in practice. But before I get further into that, let me also say this. Now, the cheaper things are in a country, in other words, the more your dollar could buy in a country, is the better it is for that country, nation, federation, whatever, to recover quicker after a national disaster or crisis. The more expensive things are in a country, nation, whatever, is the longer it takes to recover. And the more expensive, it will take even a whole lot longer to recover. Therefore, the more, for example, taxes are in a country, government regulations are in a country, the more responsibilities and the sort of stuff that government takes on, that carry up the cost of living. The more government spending is in a country, and all of these carry up the cost of living, is the worse you make it for that country, nation, or whatever to recover after a national disaster, crisis, or whatever, so of such like. Now, let me also say this as well. Vice versa. The less taxes are in a country, the less government regulations are in a country, the less spending you have in a country, and the less duties and obligations and so on that government takes on, that keeps down and continually bring down the cost of living, increase your dollar spending power, and that is very important to help your country to recover a whole lot quicker, because people will be able to buy more things, spend more things, that sort of stuff. And like I said, the Bible way really is for taxes, all taxes to be 100% voluntary. That's the Bible way. But at least even the advice of Solomon old counselors of lessening the taxes and burdens, government burdens and so on a nation, at least even that would help a country to recover a whole lot quicker than government increasing the tax burdens and all those sorts of stuff. So doing things the Bible way is the only way to go, and we disobey and reject the Bible to our own destruction and ruin, to our own undoing, misery, torment, death, and all those sort of stuff. And like the Bible says, this is the evil and wicked people who reject the word of God, and as a result, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, for the lack of vision, which is the Bible knowledge, the right vision.
Greg, we're going to have to break. You're going to have, because we have a program coming up next.
Yes,
soon.
yes. And like I said, in the beginning, this thing that is found on price gouging in time of national disaster and that sort of stuff, it is very, very good practice. God bless everybody. The Bible is the only way to go. Only the Bible has all the solutions and answers we need for all of our problems, evils, and so on in this life, in every area of life, to enjoy and have God's prosperity and blessings. Thank you very much.
Okay, you take care.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Found the Sound 98.9 winnfm.
St. Kitts and Nevis, are you ready? It's the 14th annual St. Christopher Children's Home Family Walk and Run. Saturday, November 8th at the beautiful Royal St. Kitts Golf Course. Bring the whole family for an afternoon of fun, fitness, and giving back. Registration opens at 3 p.m. and the walk starts at 4 p.m. sharp. Adults only $60. Kids 6 to 12, $30. Little ones under 6, absolutely free. Every registration comes with an event shirt plus a delicious barbecue lunch from the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. Enjoy our exciting kids zone powered by Lucid SKN, amazing raffle prizes, and complimentary transportation from the Sands Complex and the fire station starting at 2:30 p.m. Get your tickets now at Royal Beach Casino, Four Ways Restaurant, Harper's, and Jad. Saturday, November 8th. We'll see you there.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Welcome back to Island Tea. Just about 2 minutes after the hour of 9, and in studio with us we have Jasmine and Donia, and they will be speaking to us about the Tranquility Vacation Club. Ladies, good morning. Welcome to the studios of Island Tea.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so if you allow me, I'll make my introductions and introduce my colleague here. Good morning to all our listeners. My name is Jasmine Weeks, and with me is my travel club colleague, Dunia Padillo. She'll do her own introductions shortly. But today we are here representing our travel club, which is a club that was birthed from Tranquility Vacations. So we cannot really talk about the travel club unless we do speak something about our Tranquility Vacations, which we know is a local agency that provides travel and related services, including visa application processing, that is U.S. and Canadian applications. We do travel reservations as well, cruises and land tours. Okay, so the question would be, why a travel club? We recognize people travel for various reasons. Sometimes you're traveling and you see people, they're either maybe attending a funeral, they're probably going for graduation, to conduct business, etc. Our travel club was formed to basically have our clients get tangible and intangible benefits. The tangible benefits, we talk about your health, mental health. And sometimes, you need relief from your stresses at work, could be mentally, even at home. So that is one of the reasons where we would actually invite persons to be part of our club. When you travel, you relieve all your stresses, and it's a way for you to relax and rewind and rejuvenate yourself. In my opinion, it is one of the best ways that one can feel relaxed and inspired. Traveling also improves your communication skills. We have persons from our club who actually travel, especially students. We go to foreign destinations like the Dominican Republic, Cuba, to improve on their language, especially students who are studying for overseas exams. We also feel that it helps you to disjoin from your busy life. Some of us feel that we are Energizer bunnies. We need that. We believe that the club helps you to relieve, because at some time when we overworked ourselves, we become sick, and then we are unable to enjoy the pleasures of traveling. So the travel club helps to invite people to come to be a part of it, so that you can relieve yourself of disjoin yourself from your busy work schedule. We also believe that our club offers the opportunity to explore other cultures. We find that there are persons who have various interests. People travel for various reasons, and I believe that being a part of the travel club, it teaches us empathy, patience. We are able to appreciate other people's cultures. And if you are a lover of architecture, for example, you appreciate the food, you appreciate the various aspects of our culture. And so it also helps it challenges our stereotype and fosters a deeper appreciation of our diversity, the diversity of our peoples. So this is, in fact, one of the ways I would sell it. Come be a part of our travel club. The travel club has actually been around for about maybe 10 years. A lot of what we did as part of the travel club would have subsided since because of COVID, but we are now rejuvenated again, and we are doing a lot more. We have a lot of plans, and we would share some of the plans because we have diverse group. Our club have people from not only St. Kitts and Nevis, we have people from Cuba as members, we have people from the Dominican Republic, Jamaicans, Guyanese, all part of our travel clubs, because we welcome everyone to be part of the experience. So I would take a break and have Dunia tell us a little bit about some of the things that we do as travel club members, and I'll probably come back and talk about how you become a member. Dunia, talk about our promotions that we have.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Dunia Pardillo. Aquí estamos en representación de nuestro trabajo Vacaciones Tranquilas, Club de Viajes. Quisiera compartirles un poquito de nuestro trabajo, de las promociones que tenemos. Por ejemplo, si usted desea solicitar su visa americana, si desea solicitar su visa para Canadá, nosotros tenemos oferta para Estados Unidos, visa americana por $2,980 con un paquete incluido. Aseguramos su cita en la Embajada de Estados Unidos, completamos el formulario de solicitud, tarifa de devolución de DHL, boletos de avión, alojamiento y transporte. Documentos que usted pueda requeridos para la entrevista de la Embajada de Estados Unidos, una carta de trabajo, licencia comercial para adultos, carta escolar para niños, formulario de consentimiento, estado de cuenta bancario, 2 fotos de tamaños de visa, acta de nacimiento, antecedentes policiales, otros documentos adicionales que demuestren vínculos con su país, si están disponibles. Escritura de la casa, escritura de propiedad, escritura de carro, certificados de matrimonio.
So basically, we actually do visas first, because if you have a travel club, we want to make sure persons are really qualified to travel. They have the relevant requirements. Sometimes something as simple as making sure that your passport is actually valid, because some destinations your passport has to be valid for at least 6 months. Yeah. And one of the things that we are trying to do, especially now, and we feel it's important as a travel club to speak about it, is that you would recognize that recently the U.S. Embassy has indicated that all persons with St. Kitts and Nevis passport must travel, whether it's a child, your great-grandmother, anyone. Whether you had a visa before, you must travel, you must make an in-person appearance. So Dunia was explaining it to her colleagues in the language in Spanish, basically all the requirements that you would need in order to get a U.S. visa. And currently, we are running a promotion for persons who would need a visa, because obviously persons would have been planning to get their visas prior to the new policy. Maybe this year they would have said, okay, I'm going to just send off my visa because it's a waiver. Of course, at that time it would have been a waiver. But since August, it's mandatory that you attend. So we have considered all of that. As members of the club, we have promotions, of course, with Tranquility Vacations. You say, okay, let us do this promotion for persons who want to be part of the travel, because next year we have a lot of cruises that would go to the U.S., for example. So there's a promotion running at the moment for EC 2980, which includes a full package for persons who want to go to the U.S. Embassy. It includes the application fees, the embassy fees, the transfers, accommodation, and transfers, accommodation, and the flights to Barbados return. It's a very affordable one for the time considering, and so we want persons who are members of the club and who are thinking of being a part and who want to travel even for their own personal reasons. They can come to Tranquility Vacations and they can get that information.
You said 2980. This 2980 is EC?
2980 EC. It's a giveaway.
Okay, it is indeed. That's
it's a very, very good discount that we are offering. And as of course, people are asking. There are persons who we call and they've said they want to know how long the promotion would last. We would extend it till November.
So the end of November?
The end of November.
Okay. How does one join the club? Because as you said, all of us are not members, but how can we join?
It's simple. We have an application form that persons can access. They can always visit the Tranquility Vacations office, which is located in Unit C7. There's an application fee. It asks specific questions, especially the contact details, the basic ones, and specific questions as they relate to your interest. Because basically we want to make sure that persons who are in our club, they have a specific focus, because we have some focus groups traveling, persons who like to probably explore adventure. Some persons like the rush, some people like the beach. So we have that so we can actually align our plans, etc., to meet the needs of those persons and the interests of those persons. So you just come in and sign up, and there's a minimum annual fee of $25.
25 EC.
25 EC, just to sign up. And you could say, well, I'm going to sign up, but what are the benefits? I actually talk about the benefits of traveling. But I could, in terms of tangible, feeling it in your pockets, I could probably say a little bit about the discounts that we get, discounts and deals. For example, family traveling with 4 persons, if they are a member of the club, the children get discounts. Sometimes if it's more than 2 children, one of the children would be able to travel for free.
Okay.
Yes, we have exclusive access. I can just give an example. In December, that is December 22nd, we have the club is going on a cruise. It's out of the DR. It goes to sails from Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, St. Lucia. It actually comes to St. Kitts, and it goes to Tortola. It's a 7-night cruise, non-visa cruise, very affordable. We were offering a package of $5,300. It includes flights and the cruise. And those persons who are members of our club, they will actually be on board one of the nights. It's Christmas. It's actually a Christmas cruise, so you spend Christmas on board. We actually have an exclusive cocktail for our clients, so cocktail night for our clients. And also, of course, it's hassle-free. You don't have the hassle of calling, booking flights, accommodations. We do all of that, and because in our club we have persons who speak foreign languages, the French and the Spanish, it makes it much easier.
You said Unit C7, so that's here in the Sands.
That's correct.
Because I want them to find you. Do you have any handles or telephone numbers that they can call to get in contact with you as well?
Definitely. So they can call through Tranquility Vacations. They can reach the club members, and they can call 661-1449 or 669-7000. That last number is more accessible because we always say, 669-7000.
So you mentioned the 7-night cruise, and you said it's a Christmas cruise, and it leaves from the Dominican Republic. It stops a lot of places.
Yes,
yes,
it does.
That's good.
It does.
So anything else, Ms. Weeks, you like to highlight?
Just to highlight our promotions for next year and beyond. Just quickly, we also have 3 cruises next year, non-visa. And why I'm stressing non-visa, because you could always persons who have visas, they can cruise any time of the month. They just have to say, okay, I want to go this place, and that can be done. But for the Easter cruise, we specifically, our club focuses a lot on non-visit cruises. So next year, for example, we have our Easter cruise we have 2 Easter cruises. One that sails from Martinique, it goes Martinique, Guadeloupe, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Grenada, and then back to Martinique. And that starts from March 28th to 4th April. So that's an option for persons who want to see those islands, those destinations. And that is on the MSC, that's MSC ship, and it's a MSC Virtuosa. Then we have the Norwegian Sky, also in Easter. So we're giving everybody options, and that's what we call our Easter Bonanza Cruise, sails from March 30th to April 6th, and it's on the Norwegian Sky. And that sails from the DR, La Romana, and that's the one that I spoke about that we're also doing in December, the same itinerary. And it's a very popular one. A lot of people want to see the ABC Islands. There are persons who actually were born in Curacao. A lot of our nationals were born in Curacao, and they want to go back there. And lastly, we have our 3 Panama, we have options for Panama. We are going to Panama 3 times next year. We are going in, I think we have in April 3rd to 10th. We are going on July 24th, I think. And then we are going in November around Thanksgiving. So persons who want to sign up to be part of the club get your benefits, because all our rates are discounted once you're a member of the club. Get discounted, then you are ready to go.
All right. Well, Ms. Weeks, I would just remind you to let the listening public know what travel agency you're from, what are the benefits of the vacation club, how does one sign up, where you're located, and how we can get in contact with you. I hope you remember all of those.
Yes, so we are members of the Tranquility Vacations Club, and of course this was birthed from Tranquility Vacations, which is located Unit C7 in the Sands Complex. Can be reached at 661-1449-669-7000. And to be a member of the travel club, you just have to come into the office. There's a form that can be filled. And that form basically asks the basic questions and specific questions to your interests as a traveler. And then the benefits, you have discounts and deals, exclusive access, hassle-free planning, and the list goes on. Community and social aspects, you of course shared experience, networking. Some persons live alone, they want to travel, they don't have any travel partner. You can meet your future partner, you can meet, make new friends, etc. So we just want you to come and be a part of our travel club, which is, of course, open to all. It doesn't matter your nationality, you can be part of us. The benefits are huge.
And that sounds good. Doña, you want to just tell your colleagues in Spanish the same thing?
Sí.
Okay.
Quisiera hablarle sobre todos los excitantes planes organizados por Vacaciones Tranquilas para este 2026. Por ejemplo, tenemos 3 cruceros, 2 en Pascua. Tenemos de la línea de cruceros MSC Virtuosa, con una fecha de salida el 28 de marzo al 4 de abril de 2026. Puertos de escala: Martinica, Guadalupe, Santa Lucía, Barbados, San Vicente y las Granadinas. Granada comienza en Martinica. Tarifas tan solo 5.300 ICI por persona y 3.800 por niño, que incluye pasaje aéreo, con un depósito de 600 ICI por persona para asegurar su camarote o cabina. Nos puede llamar al teléfono 661-1449, 669-7000. Puede contactar con nosotros y aquí los estaremos esperando.
All right. So, ladies, it was indeed a pleasure. I hope this is the first of many. And
the first of many.
Okay.
We have lots of exciting.
All right. So just keep us updated, and remember to go and visit Tranquility Tours here in the Sands Complex at Unit 7. Okay, C7.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20, win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play.
Mommy, are you writing to Santa too?
You have Santa. I have CIBC Caribbean.
CIBC has sweetened the season so you can bring your holiday dreams to life and wrap a new home or land with incredible cashback deals. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
And we're back on Island T, and I want to go international for a bit. We see the ceasefire in Israel. It seems like it's not completely ceased. As they said, they retaliated in respect to an attack on one of their soldiers across the yellow line. So about 104 persons lost their lives because there were airstrikes after that. I got that news from Reuters. And then in the Cameroon, where our brothers and sisters are, the fight continues as the opposition urges protesters to go out and protest the fact that the election was stolen. I don't see the opposition leader out there with the folks, but at least 50 civilians would have lost their lives already. And I just saw a little video with them pulling away one. They're literally dragging him on his butt to the vehicle that they're going to put him in. And I'm wondering, how can we treat each other like this? And
well, sometimes they do that because maybe there's chaos in the area, there's bullets being flying, and they try to get you out there the best of they can, and sometimes it's detrimental to you, but under those circumstances, what can you do?
But President Bayer, 92, 43 years, why?
Someone was speaking to me yesterday about that and saying, but it shows you, as Sylvine was saying before, all these individuals seem to be concerned about is their re-election, and they don't care about what the people are going through.
Yes, he's moving well for somebody of that age. But, take a rest now. 43 years? How many more years do you need to lead people? Go and sit down. Give somebody else a chance.
Well, they say that power is like a drug. When you get it and you get it for so long and complete power, it is intoxicating. And
imagine they had protests before the election. And now they have post-election protests. Because the headline that I see here, it says, I said Bayer, but it could be Bia, declared victory of Cameroon election. Why deadly protests broke out. And this news is from Al Jazeera, and it says Paul Biya, world's oldest leader at 92, has won 8
And it is
term as president.
It is likely that some of them were rigged also,
Mhm.
you know. And again, you're seeing the French, wherever the French still exist in Africa and other places around the world, there's chaos because the people want the French out, and the French wants to maintain that hold for the purpose of the mineral and whatever other wealth that they get. So.
Oh boy, but then I don't understand. They said supporter of Cameroon's presidential candidate Issa Tikroma Bakari, who claimed victory in the presidential election. But so how do either party know who wins? Because the former leader, well, still the leader, declared himself president, and then the opposition is saying, I won the election. So how do...
Sometimes because if the climate of the people has been overwhelming, you kind of have a feeling. Sometimes the very same people in the electoral process might, give the word and say, man, they cheated in here. And then sometimes it is also that each one of them wants to be in power.
Wow.
So
it
can go anyway. It can be for any reason.
And this is sad that this man has been in power since my year of birth.
As you just said, the opposition is saying, go out there and fight for this, but you said you don't see him
I
in
don't
there,
see him in the front line, and people are losing
and
their
this
lives.
is what they tend to do. They tend to say, go out there, and the people make their sacrifices, and next thing when they get in power, they still beat down on the people.
Yeah, you see? And I guess so it makes sense for the people to go out there, but you go out with the people too, because the people have to protest, because whatever decisions the leaders make, it affects them directly.
Yeah.
I can't even say indirectly, directly. So I understand that, but go out with the people and protest. Don't just send the people out there by themselves. Just like the January 6th. We didn't see the president out there with them. He spoke to them and then he disappeared. He went back to his safe haven. And they were the ones that went to the car cell. They were the ones that had to endure.
And for instance, let's say Trump in the United States. Let's say something was a chaos was to break out. He's going to be secreted away into some underground bunker after having been the cause of so much uproar around the world. But that's the way the world goes. Until somewhere down the line, people decide to change it and make it a more even thing. That's the way it is, sadly.
Oh boy, we really do live in a very sad world. But for my brothers and sisters over there in the Cameroon, I don't know what to tell you. You have to keep the faith. You have to go inside and pray. I don't know what to tell you to do, because wanting to lead forever could be a plague.
Yeah.
Because in your old age, you might as well be sitting down and enjoying what is left. But sometimes you send people home to sit down, and that's the end of them.
But sometimes, because I don't believe that people should be allowed to stay into power when their age gets up to the high thing, because they reach a point where they just don't seem to care. They don't care. They're old. Maybe let's again use Donald Trump as an example. An old man who is embittered with everybody, has a narcissistic attitude. They say it is alleged that he uses Pampers and all that kind of stuff. It is alleged that he also has to use a lot of drugs and so to keep him going at his age. So those kind of individuals, they're going to be in a position where, well, I don't really care, I'm suffering in my old age, and so I don't really care about you, So
I'm just going to read a little thing here. It says, under Bia's rule, Cameroon has struggled with myriad challenges, including chronic corruption that critics say has dampened economic growth, despite the country being rich in resources such as oil and cacao. The president, who has clinched wins in 8 heavily contested elections held every 7 years, wow, not even 5, is renowned for his absenteeism, as he reportedly spends extended periods away from the country. Yeah. So I guess you're remotely leading.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
We have a caller anyway.
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Grand Rising. Now, this is a message. Nobody is taking it seriously because we like the state of mind that we moving, sleepwalking. I am saying the region is in turmoil. Nobody talking. All the leaders quiet. It is the people and us at the bottom who stands to suffer most. Economies, if this continue, it's going to crash. No boat going to come. Not only bringing tourists, also bringing food and supplies. None going to come. Already we should be taking it seriously. If fishing boat getting shoot out the water, we got to know. No fish gonna come. Begin to think there. My position is we have to begin to prepare for the unexpected. I am saying to the people, Melissa, program yourself as if 165 miles per hour storm coming. Start to gather supplies. Don't panic. Buy a little soap. Buy a little toilet paper. Stock up. You got a little extra money? Buy 1, 2 little canned food in the corner. Any space in your yard, plant something. Every seed in every fruit or vegetable you eat, save your seeds. We're gonna need them. I'm saying, the outlook ain't look good. For the region, we must understand if Venezuela in it and the wise over oil, none come in. We carry them and pack up too. We're going to run out of food too. Let us begin the humanitarian aspect. The government with the SSV kind of preparing for the foreign aspect for the locals, the sustainable segment. I'm saying we need to begin to prepare tomorrow and look to God. Bless up.
Okay,
right,
thanks
thank
for your input. And, well, very sound words, but as he was speaking, I'm thinking to myself, what can a people do when it seems as if though your leaders are just nonchalant? Your leaders don't seem to... We as a people, yeah, we can do certain things individually, but because we are not organized and everything is not properly orchestrated, if something should happen, a disaster should befall us, we won't know where we're going to store food, how much food is stored, how you're going to disseminate food, what kind of food you're going to store, your perishables and all that kind. We don't know because we haven't been organized by our leaders and we are not demanding of our leaders that they take this serious. So what can you do? It seems as if though
what if we are demanding, but we're still being met with deaf ears?
If there's a demand, I'm not hearing much of it. I hear the farmer occasionally. I hear the other farmers. I hear a few people, but we're on the radio on a daily basis. We don't hear people consistently telling our leaders, look, you need to take what is happening in the region seriously and let us be prepared. You were touting this 25 by 25 for so long, and it has come and gone, and we haven't seen anything about when you're gonna get up and do something already. The people aren't saying anything.
The year's almost gone.
Because as I've often said, and I reiterate, luxury and a little bit of success in certain things where you can get a few amenities put us in a position where we're quiet about most things. Nobody wants to rock the boat. Nobody wants their voice to be heard agitating for anything because it is not the norm. You should not go against the grain. So, and when a disaster happens, then you're going to hear everybody bawling and everybody lamenting. And you're going to hear some of the majority of those who were silent, you're going to hear their voices louder than everybody else, and they're going to be saying, who did, why wasn't something done? We know this was going to happen. But we never chimed our voices together and said anything.
I saw
the last caller that we had, you can say that he has been consistently saying that. When the farmers come, they have been consistently saying, we want food. Without food, we can't sustain ourselves.
We want food.
Apart from them, I guess the people are saying, man, them farmers, the country going good. I could go and buy my, fast food and my whatever and so forth. Things ain't going to happen to us, man. We bless, So I'm not saying things are going to happen, but I'm also saying we don't know.
I say that all the time, Quint, because I remember prior to the war starting between Ukraine and Russia, or Russia and Ukraine, because Russia is the aggressor, there were people appearing in Ukraine, and the Ukrainians kept saying, oh, nothing's going to happen.
I disagree with you that Russia is the aggressor. Russia may seem to be the aggressor because they use certain military thing, but if you know the history, look at the history of all the countries that surround Russia and see what has happened. Are you aware of a place called, aware of Warsaw?
I've heard of it.
Okay, but you know of NATO?
Yes, I know of NATO.
Okay, so let me tell you this. There was once NATO and Warsaw. They were competing against each other, right? Next thing, NATO sat down with Warsaw and decided, let's make an agreement. Let's quell this thing. The agreement is going to be that we, NATO, are going to stay in the west, so we're not going to move 1 inch toward the east, and you are going to stay where you are, and we're going to have peace. Everybody says Russia is so bad and Putin is so bad. I'm not saying the man is a saint, but this is why some people in their ignorance tend to say Quint is a communist, because Russia signed off on the agreement, and next thing, when Russia signed off on the agreement and they disbanded Warsaw, NATO decided it wasn't going to disband. And not only that, they started to make links with all of the countries surrounding Russia to join NATO, having signed off that they weren't going to move
and
1
I get
inch
all of
west.
That, but who dropped the first bomb? That's what I'm getting at.
But how can you talk about bomb? Listen to what I'm saying, Hortensia. Here's what I'm saying. When your country, St. Kitts and Nevis, surrounded by water, let's say that water was, what's this place that Russia is, the Lewinsky or Neminsky or whatever his name?
Zelensky.
The Ukraine, right?
Zelensky.
Okay, let's say the water immediately surrounding St. Kitts and Nevis.
What am I saying? Zelensky is the name, Vladimir is for Putin, but Zelensky is
Zelensky is who I mean. Let's say the water immediately surrounding St. Kitts and Nevis is Lewinsky's country, is one.
Zelensky.
Whatever, I don't remember his name because I really don't really like the man. Right? Okay. So he is one of the countries surrounding Russia, right? But use your imagination. All around St. Kitts and Nevis, there are other countries. Look on the map today and see how many of them have joined NATO, which was supposed to be banded. So what would St. Kitts and Nevis do when the rest of the world has always been trying to destroy St. Kitts and Nevis or take over St. Kitts and Nevis? History has proven it with World War I and II, where Russia stood, okay? And let me finish. And if you're threatened as St. Kitts and Nevis, and there are just a few, including Lewinsky's country or whatever his name is, and you said to him, do not join NATO because we are here, we have a friendly thing going on. They were friends, you know. Russia used to look after them. They didn't have a problem. But NATO gets in bed with him and he decides he's going to join NATO. Now, St. Kitts and Nevis being Russia is not going to be concerned that you're surrounding my borders with enemies. And before Lewinsky or whatever his name did what he did, Russia said to him, if you join NATO, this is what we're going to do. So you're doing it. It's right for, look how many people are making noise about what the United States wants to do with Venezuela for their own stuff. The majority of the people in the world are a bunch of hypocrites, if you ask me.
But I get that. But yes, he joins with NATO, but what gives you the right to...
It gives me the right to defend myself. That is why America...
He didn't do anything yet.
But he joined with my enemies.
But that doesn't mean that you have to go and kill innocent people just because he joined with your enemies.
So Cartencia, St. Kitts and Nevis is supposed to sit down, let me finish, sit down, let your enemies completely surround you. We look at the history of the world, and eventually your enemies invade you because they're going to use Lewinsky or whoever to put armaments in your proximity, so when they're ready to attack you, they don't have to do it from far distance. They do it close to you, and you're going to wait until next thing, 5 years down the years. Hear what you hear, the history. The country that was once St. Kitts and Nevis is now some other name because they have destroyed the people. That is what happened to Palestine and Israel, you know.
But they went over and attacked first, in this case.
Who went over and attacked first?
They, on October 7th, when they went and interrupted the party and stole the folks. I understand they have ongoing critics, but nothing is happening.
It makes no use sometimes to speak to people who follow the propaganda of history. You're looking at the present and looking at what happened yesterday, and you're not looking at what happened in 1948. But you're going to ignore that.
No, I'm not ignoring it. I'm just saying that they were living peaceably. There was no.
They were not living peaceably. Okay. The world was telling us that since 1948. There's never been peace in that region.
Okay,
They've been killing the people.
It was not as bad as it is now. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
Anyway, I throw my hands up and I hello caller. This is why the world is the way it is.
Yes, it's me again.
Yes.
Okay, a few things. But first of all, concerning the Russia-Ukraine thing, remember, Ukraine were bombing the people in the Donbass.
Well, people don't know these things. People don't know and they don't care.
Right. It didn't just start with when Russia went in Ukraine. Russia went in Ukraine for a reason. Ukraine
what
was
is the reason?
Killing the people in the Donbass.
So when did Ukraine kill the people in the Donbass? I don't know, so educate me, please.
So, Cartencia, if you don't know, then why are you always first, and not just you? I mean, people first to jump to defense
Greg
of
to
people.
Quint, from my perspective, with this whole big war, Russia was the aggressor.
Yes, from your perspective.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
From your uninformed perspective.
But I don't know what it is.
So that's what I'm saying.
So they have history, but I'm saying from what is present, Russia is the aggressor. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they don't have backlogs of whatever. All I'm saying, from now, it looks like the aggressor.
Okay, so let me say this. You have a family of 12, right? Someone comes in, I come in and kill 9 of your family 50 years ago, right? Then last month now you decided, or one of your children, your recent offspring decided, I'm angry, I'm going to go and do something to Quint's family because of what happened. And he comes and he kills 5 of my family. Yes, people are going to say, well, look, all those years and they had peace. There was no peace. I had already destroyed 50 of your family. Your child now has that ongoing animosity in their hearts. And now you're going to push the propaganda that, oh, well, the Cortensa's son is wrong because Quint didn't do him anything. He didn't do him anything since when? You mean I didn't do him anything recently, but I killed 50 of your family once ago. And this is what we're saying. But the world wants to be ignorant of the facts when it comes to colonialism, capitalism, so-called democracy, and all that kind of stuff.
As I said, as I asked Greg a question I didn't know.
Go ahead, Greg.
To educate me.
To be quite honest, I do not remember when they started killing the ethnic Russians in the Donbass, but I know definitely it was sometime after 2014.
They said it began in 2014.
Yes.
I pulled up something here.
When the American had the Ukraine government overthrown, and when they put in the puppet government, and then it was after that. I don't know how long after that it was. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember everything.
Well, we're not going to remember everything. Neither I.
Yes, Putin went in to Ukraine to defend he went in Ukraine to defend his people that the Ukrainians were killing in the Donbass. And they even signed the Minsk Accord. But the Ukraine was breaking it.
Yeah, they don't sign. Look, when you sign accords with these people and agreements with these people, they don't live up to it. NATO, there should not be any NATO today.
And that is so true because there's no reason for NATO to be still around.
Yeah.
But they're just causing a load of problems. No, but saying really that I'm really calling for big, but since y'all were talking about that. And by the way, it's a proxy war for the U.S. because the U.S. is the one who's really profiting out of it.
Yes.
Lockheed Martin and all
these
sort
war,
of
arms,
defense contractors.
Yeah, that's what it is about.
Yes, the selling of these bombs and all these sort of stuff is really a proxy war for the U.S. for them to make profits and that sort of stuff. And I could say a lot about it. And also remember, the U.S. also has built biological labs in Ukraine as well, eh?
Yeah. Look, there's a lot that is happening that the world is not aware of because people go through their daily lives. Unfortunately, unlike me and you and maybe a few of us who are concerned about the way the world has been going for over 400 years, we delve into certain things. But the majority of the people in the world, they go, they get their Kentucky Fried Chicken, their McDonald's, their whatever. They sit down, they watch their TV, and they just drink in what the West gives you, the propaganda that the West gives you.
Quint, also remember as well, in addition to what you said, which is very correct, also remember as well, Russia, what Ukraine, what NATO and America is doing right now in Ukraine, right on the border of Russia, to invade Russia when they want to. Russia couldn't do that even in Cuba, so far away from the U.S. border. No? Remember the U.S. was ready to start a war over that.
Yes, and again, if Russia is so bad, how come the Russians decided, okay, Cuba is our allies, but we're going to hands off and we're going to stay away from that area because we understand it's in your proximity? How come they can do this, but the United States and the rest of Europe wants to be right around, surround Russia if they can? It is not fair.
You remember the missile crisis thing?
Yes.
Well, a lot of people are not being told what started it up. What started the Cuba U.S. missile crisis thing is because America put missiles in Turkey, pointed after Russia.
Yes.
And Russia said, well, if you're going to put missiles in Turkey, pointing after us, we're going to put missiles in Cuba.
Yes.
And the United States said, no. And Russia said, if you don't want us to put missiles in Cuba, take out your missiles out of Turkey.
Yes.
And so America had to take the missiles out of Turkey, and that is why Russia did not bother put the nuclear missiles in Cuba. People hide like, oh, JFK was this strong man.
Yeah.
No, JFK had to pull his missiles out of Turkey. And you see, and you don't see how America was going on, and Cuba is so far from the American border
Yes.
compared to Ukraine, which is just on the border with
On the
with
border
Russia.
of Russia. On the border
Fear
of
is
Russia.
fear. Yeah, fear is fear.
So
we must be fear.
they come, they push this story, and we just run with it. Why? Because America is
run
the
with it.
redemption and the savior of the world, and it has been oppressing the world. Anyway, thank you, Greg. We're going to take a bit of a commercial break. Okay. Okay, Greg, you're finished?
Well, let me say something quickly.
Yes.
Again, Quint, people are still complaining over these food containers thing, and you know what? Somebody told me, somebody told me, hey, Greg, because these things are weaker, they are absorbing more things in your food because they mature a lot quicker.
Yes.
So more of the container now going into your food.
And whatever
which is
is
far unhealthier.
and whatever the container is made up could be contaminating your food. Whatever they
whatever they so it's soaking more into your food, it's absorbed more into your food.
Yeah.
And not only that, but to make it was more expensive as I was told.
Yeah, well, again, improper planning. This is what happened to us. The rest of the world decided that you should do this. The rest of the world who has caused all this pollution, and we run with it because they fund certain things. That's how it is.
You're so correct.
Yeah.
You're so correct.
Okay.
Okay, Quinn.
Yeah.
Take care.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Good day.
Yes. Quinn.
Yes.
You got to do a better job of convincing Cartencio.
I won't convince
about looking at world history.
Cartencio is headstrong, you know. She's like Sylvie.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong in being headstrong.
I'm not headstrong.
But
I
am
don't
sure
know.
she would listen to reason. I'm sure she would listen to reason.
That's
right?
all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're saying what?
No, it's that I don't know most of the backlog, but from what I see that happen, that's all I'm telling Quinn. Russia looks like the aggressor, or is the aggressor. But if
well, at least if you admit that you don't know the background, then you shouldn't jump to the conclusions that you jump to.
But because of what I see, did Ukraine drop the first bomb when this big thing exploded?
No, but it didn't
That's
start
the whole
there.
point. That is not where it started.
Yeah.
And I get
The same
that,
thing-
but I didn't know
the
that
same thing
until
with
they
the-
just
the-
said
the
what they said and I
Palestinian-
went to looking.
It's the same thing with the Israeli-Palestinian debacle.
Yeah, I
Right?
know they're
it
always
didn't
fighting.
start on October 7th.
I know.
Right? Any people that have their territory occupied have a duty to resist.
Yes, to defend themselves.
Of course, right? It didn't just start there, and I think that's the problem with a lot of world conflict. You know the old saying, where things start, and that's where they can end.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot. I can't think of one war that can be considered a good war.
No.
Wars just harbor resentment
Yeah.
and are the precursors for other wars in the
That's
future.
it. You're right.
Right? Yeah, at some point, and look, I'm not saying that you should go way back in history to solve conflicts, otherwise that would never happen. All right? And you got to be a realist. You can't expect, for instance, the Europeans, or we call them Americans now, the white Americans now, to give back the Indians who they met their land. We know that's not going to happen, right? So I'm not saying that you shouldn't go, that you should go way back and start from the beginning and to really solve conflicts, but you should not start at just the present. You cannot start at the present, otherwise you'll look at what's happened. A lot of people were saying Donald Trump should get the Peace Prize for stopping the war in Gaza. You know, one would argue he was in the office, presidential office, for months.
But before you
and
go
could have
on,
stopped it.
Mr. McMahon, before you go on, the war in Gaza hasn't really stopped, you know. Listen to the amount. Listen to the amount who Cartensis said died just
104,
recently.
Yeah.
You think that's a little bit of people?
That's where I was headed, right? People were saying he should get the Nobel Prize for stopping the war. He could have stopped the war from day one when he got in by talking tough with Netanyahu. Because he is the one who was perpetuating the war.
Yes.
But he still says
And
Netanyahu
he
has his right to defend.
But they all
Hence, these
say
people
that.
dying now because
That's what
of
they
the
always
soldier
say.
that they supposedly killed.
Defend what?
They're saying that Hamas killed a soldier along the yellow line border that they have
So,
there.
so
that's
Hamas,
why they went
so
in.
Hamas kills a soldier, and you must bomb across Gaza and kill
104
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And enjoying God knows how many more.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? The war has been asymmetrical from the beginning. It's been a disproportionate response to what was happening. Okay?
Mr. McMahon, hold a second. There's another caller. Hello, caller. At least let's hear your voice. Hello, caller. Okay. The other caller doesn't seem to want to speak. Go ahead, Mr. McMahon.
Yeah. So from the outset, right? Yes, it was about the hostages. It may have been partly about the hostages. But I'm telling you, even if Hamas had released those hostages in day 3 after October 7, there would have been retribution. Because you know something underlying all of this. There was a poll conducted in Israel, and you know that a significant majority of people of the people polled actually believe that they are God's chosen people.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to start from there, it means that everybody else is inferior.
That's it.
Inferior, including the Palestinians.
Yeah. And
Right?
I played a clip not too long ago where you hear someone in their arrogant voice saying, "You can't tell us what to do. We are God's chosen people. So we have been victims all of our lives. No one else in the world is victim but the Israeli people." That's what the man is saying, you know.
And if you have that mentality, is it any wonder that you'll conduct the war like you did? And even now, they're going to be saying, "You kill one of us, we're going to kill 100 or 1,000 of you."
Yeah.
I mean, it's preposterous. I mean, and you know, it's as if they expect the world to go along with that, with this. You know, that they can do anything and get away with it, and that is really have to stop. As for the Warsaw Pact thing, yes, the what they agreed on should have been adhered to.
Yes.
And it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Okay. And yes, Putin is no saint.
He is not.
And he may be over ambitious in terms of wanting the Soviet Union to go back to what it was. It would never.
Yes.
That would never happen.
Yes.
But at the same time, you know, he's already essentially encircled by quite a number of enemies.
Yeah.
They're going to be paranoid. Russia was the country, I think, that suffered the most casualties during World War II.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Millions died. You don't think they're going to be paranoid about people
that is
on
why,
the border?
That is why Russia has the stance that it has today, presently, because they know their history.
Okay, so wiping out Ukraine would make things better for them.
So you see what she gone back to?
I'm asking him
all
a
that we said just ago,
question.
all that we just said, and the example that you use with Israel doesn't count.
Just like how I think Israel wiping out Palestinian, how is it going to Palestine? How is it going to make it better for them?
Did they say they wanted to wipe out Ukraine? If they wanted to wipe out Ukraine, they'd use nuclear weapons. That's not what they want. They want a demilitarized Ukraine.
That's what they
One
want.
that cannot threaten them.
That's what they want. That is what
They
Putin
don't
was
want
saying all the
Ukraine
time.
To join NATO.
That's it.
Because once they join NATO, it means that NATO is
NATO
right
can
at
put
the
a base
doorstep.
right there.
They want a buffer.
Yeah,
Okay?
and remember,
to-
Mr. McMahon, that NATO already has certain bases in other places bordering the same
bordering
Russia too.
Russia.
Yeah. So why you want more?
But
you got to look at these things. I mean,
I guess the
thing
fighting
is-
is never gonna stop because
Well,
if
it's-
everybody's gonna be strong-headed about life, then the only person that could help this is God.
So
That's
hear
all.
this.
No. But okay? Don't you think it would have been reasonable if Ukraine had kept the status that it had before? Because remember, it's only since Zelensky got the election that things changed significantly, and he wanted this pro-West stance and joining NATO and so on.
Okay.
Right? It's only since that happened.
Only since
So
that.
you want to tell me that you couldn't go back to at least that, freeze things as they were, bad as they were, as it had become, freeze things as they were. But instead, Europe now go on Ukraine, okay, and that's why the war is not going to stop. Doesn't seem to.
But
that-
Mr.
that it's gonna stop
McMahon,
anytime
Mr.
soon.
McMahon, Mr. McMahon, look at the irony of it. The very same Europe that has been joining with the U.S. and doing all these things for over 400 years to the rest of the world. You see the chaos Europe is fast approaching into. You see how the United States of America, who everyone touted as the big superpower and the big savior of the world, you see the lack of respect she has around the world today. So they're toppling. Their hegemony and whatnot is toppling from internally.
Well, I don't know. Somebody in Russia made the point that a lot of the wars that Europe really with their colonial
mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the ones who started a lot of conflict.
Yeah.
Okay? It wasn't so much Russia. And to be quite honest, I'm wondering if in Trump's mind, okay, he himself don't believe that. What he would like to see, because who he really regards as a threat is China.
Yes.
What he would really like to see is a European, Russian, American alliance against China. I honestly suspect that is what.
But hear this
he
now.
wants.
But hear this now. Again, the irony. The United States helped to create the China that exists today, and Europe, and remember they exploited them for all those years. Everything that you got when you were growing up that came around the world, made in China. So you think that you were going to exploit a people, and you gave them certain secrets because you think that you could just continue to exploit them until a government or regime comes in and says enough of that already, and they change things.
Well, you can't subjugate 1 billion people. I mean, it just can't happen. It's somewhere in that billion, they're going to be people who are just as good as you are at technology and whatever else. It's just natural.
It's just natural.
The probabilities would suggest that.
Hold a while there, Mr. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good day.
Yeah, just point out a couple of things there. I think that no matter how concerned we are about developments, we need to be historically accurate.
Yes, go ahead.
But intellectually honest. Now, I heard earlier that I heard Greg say that Ukraine was bombing the Donbass. Is Greg aware that Donbass is a part of Ukraine, which is now largely occupied by Russia? Soon after they invaded.
Let me ask you this. Are you aware that Ukraine and a lot of those other places were once part of Russia?
I am not aware of that. They were never a part of Russia. They were part
of the USSR.
Yes,
USSR.
they were.
Of 15 Soviet republics. Ukraine was one of 15 Soviet republics, the main one of which, the central point of which,
And what does Soviet Republic mean? Just as what does the United States of America mean?
No. Wait. Let's stay on a relatively.
You want to stay on a relatively on a narrative that you want to push.
You said that Ukraine was part of Russia, and I corrected you.
You
Ukraine
didn't
was
correct
never
me.
Part of Russia.
You didn't correct me. You can't correct me.
Oh, I see.
So let me ask you this: all of those places that were a part of the Soviet Union that you speak about, why is it that the rest of the world tried their best to fragment them and do all these things over the years?
Beside the point. I am saying to you that the statement you made that that Ukraine was part of Russia is factually incorrect. That is the point. that is a factually incorrect and a historically inaccurate statement.
Okay.
So I sought to correct you that Ukraine was a part of the Soviet Union, never a part of Russia. Russia is a separate country all by itself, one of the 15 Soviet republics, which together constituted the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
Okay, so hear what you just said. So hear what you just said. You said Russia was part of the Soviet Republic.
The Soviet Union, yes.
Yes. So it was not
one of the 15 Soviet republics.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
So weren't they unified to some extent?
Before we go there,
you notice how Mr. McMahon, you notice how he keeps
and incorrect.
Anyway, I will take what you say because people are listening.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Technically, he is correct in the sense that it was not part of Russia. It was part of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, USSR. Okay. Collectively, the world look at that as essentially Russia, okay, but they were not. The fact is though, right, that a lot of these splinters, once the Soviet Union broke up,
yes,
the West exacerbated the situation because they wanted to weaken Russia.
That is it. That is it.
And so there was a response to that. Okay. Interestingly enough, Ukraine had nuclear weapons.
Yes.
Because USSR actually had nuclear weapons in Ukraine pointed at the West. Okay, and they were essentially persuaded to give up those nuclear weapons. Right. But the point is, you can't have, if you're going to have this kind of splintering, right? Could you just imagine, for instance, California seceding from the United States or Texas or any one of those?
That is why I use the United States of America as an example. I tried to use it as an example so he could understand, but he did not want to go there.
Yeah, there would be resistance to it. I mean, they fought a civil war over that.
And remember, some of these states have not all the laws go across all the states. You understand? Yes, they are the United States of America, but certain things, if you cross certain borders, you can get away with certain things, and you go, then in certain aspects, the federal comes into play. So technically, I understand what he's trying to say, but he's being a bit disingenuous. He's trying to say that there wasn't a link, a collision of these people, and the West didn't go to the utmost to make sure they got fragmented.
Of course, that's exactly what they did. Okay, because they wanted to weaken weaken Russia.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so they must have expected some kind of pushback. I mean, after all, not saying we can't go around, like I said, going way back in history to solve current problems. But if we don't realize that there is a historical perspective, a historical context to these problems, it didn't just pop up yesterday, we're not going to find solutions either.
We're not
because
going
we're not
to.
going to understand the people, the people who are going to negotiate some kind of peaceful resolution to this, then not going to understand each other's perspective, and so they'll never reach an agreement.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
I'm just the long and short of it is, I'm just appealing to people to, well, as you put it, it's straight Western propaganda. Just don't take that for granted. I mean, there are other news sources that you can listen to, and then formulate your own opinion, and do that before you jump to conclusions, and really that doesn't help in you understanding the problem.
Let me say this, Mr. McMahon, to kind of strengthen the point that you made. And again, let me say to the individual who called and said and was bringing up the argument about Russia and the Ukraine. As I said before, as I said just recently, to some extent, he is not wrong. But I'm looking at the Soviet Union. That is what I'm looking at. And if you look at the world and you look at what the Soviet Union was, and you realize what the West used to fragment them was this thing called democracy. You understand? If you go back in the history books, you're going to see it. So I'm not saying that he's completely wrong and I'm completely right. There's a halfway in between. And sometimes when we look at history, we don't look at that. But the reason I interjected Mr. McMahon, was to say this. Let's look at Guyana and the Essequibo region.
Yes.
You see how these people come and they make
Bringing
these
it back
borders.
close to home,
Yeah. And then next thing you know, the line and you say, oh, well. But they created it in the first place. And now you, Mr. Warner, because you want, Mr. McMahon, sorry, I don't know why I tend to say, you, Mr. McMahon, because you're looking like me for peace, you say, well, okay, since there's a dispute, and we know that you're not going to relinquish that land again because, come to some agreement where both parties can benefit from it. But you're here, no. You understand?
And
that is the
what I was trying to
problem.
tell Cartencia.
Yeah.
No. Right?
Yeah.
Right? But Cartencia insists not a blade of grass.
No, we're not sharing. Too bad.
And this is where, and then people say, why is it that the war continues? If you can't come to a negotiating thing where you say, okay, historically, I know this wasn't mine, but the border was changed and we're not going to give it back, but let's make an agreement. We're going to share this, the wealth that comes from it. What is so wrong with that?
That is what I'm saying.
What is so wrong
with
that?
I don't agree.
Did the administration said they were going to share? Did they say they were going to share? Didn't they just say they want what they want? They already offering the folks citizenship and everything.
Anybody who is negotiating always start at the extreme.
Yes.
Okay.
And then that is what negotiations are
what I'm
about.
saying is, and Cartencia, it's not too late, right? You can convince Ali, especially now that Maduro is under pressure, right? Diffuse the whole conflict that is approaching, okay, with the U.S. attacking Venezuela.
But I will give.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Listen, we're not yielding any territory to you, okay? Right? We can't go back in history and right every wrong like that. The reality is that the borders are now what they are.
Yeah,
we're not going to yield any territory to you. We recognize that you're a neighbor. You're right next door. And there is enough territory there. Ghana is underpopulated. There's enough territory there with enough resources that we can share.
Yeah.
The land remains ours, but why Ali can't come up with something like that?
Hold a second there, caller.
Yeah, Quint?
Yes.
Yes. Let me say something. Now, it is true, right, that the Donbass area is part of Ukraine. I did not say otherwise.
Yes.
But it is also true that the Donbass area is populated by ethnic Russians.
Yeah. And there's a reason for that. That is what I'm saying.
Right. And not only that, that is why Zelensky, for example, was bombing them, and Putin had to go in and defend his people. And afterward, they came up with the Donbass
Treaty, yeah.
The Minsk Accord.
Yes.
I would like to ask him what the Minsk Accord was all about, if I am wrong. So as far as I know, the Minsk Accord was to get the Ukrainians to stop bombing the ethnic Russians in the Donbass area, which was, yes, a part of Ukraine.
Yes.
I ain't denying that. Also,
Yeah, a lot of these problems.
Somewhere around that, where Zelensky and Putin came together and they decided, you know what, let's finish with this war.
Yes.
Let's sign a peace agreement.
That is what I was speaking to.
One of the premises, I'm not too sure if it is Boris Yeltsin or the one before, I don't remember which one, went up and told Zelensky, hey, you can't sign that with Putin. Otherwise we kill you. You got to continue this war. So the war in Ukraine is really a proxy war.
It is a
for
proxy
NATO
war.
and the U.S.
You see, people must understand. People must understand this thing called the blurred lines of history.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's the thing. People, a lot of conflicts are not as simple as it seems.
Yeah.
It's not as black and white as it seems.
Yes.
That he went and attacked me first. First when?
And Zelensky was ready to pop the champagne bottle for the peace agreement that they were supposed to come to. They were just to sign it. And I forget which one of them, the UK Prime Minister, urged by the US, you got to go tell Zelensky you can't sign this, we kill you.
That is what I was trying to refer to Hortensia when I was telling her that Putin had already tried to negotiate something with Zelensky or whatever his name is.
And they already agreed. Both of them came to agree, ready to pop the champagne bottle. But what did the UK?
But they hate each other's guts now.
The United States they had him to go tell Zelensky, you cannot sign that.
Yeah.
But lastly, I would like to say lastly, quickly, this SSG thing that we have here, like it has been said, 1,700 acres is under the possession of the developers. They only need about 500-600 or some more acres that they want to complete the whole thing. But to me, they already have the vast majority of what they want to start the project.
Yeah.
So to me, a lot of this thing, a lot of what we're saying, really, I mean, because it's a done deal, they already got it.
No, hold on. No, Greg, how much of that 1,700 acres, though, have actually been paid for? My understanding is that they've essentially...
Hortensia is leaving. Hortensia is leaving. She has other things that she has to deal with. We're over time, but we're going to maybe go another few minutes and then wrap up. Go ahead.
All right. Bye, Hortensia. Have a great day.
Yeah.
You have a great
what I'm saying is that, well, first of all, the same thing applied with the Israeli Palestinian issue. They had already had an agreement, and it was Kissinger who scuttled it. Okay? So that is how other people come in and mess up things.
Yes.
Right? And so we have to be we have to look at current realities, yes, but at least try and come to some kind of compromise as to how to stop these never-ending wars. You know, I mean, it's about time that these things, that we find a way to solve these things, right? And coming closer home, because that's really where it counts, right? I honestly feel there should be a bigger push by CARICOM to defuse the situation in the Southern Caribbean, rather than some people deciding to sit, well, like Trinidad and maybe Jamaica deciding that, well, we're back in the U.S. to the hill.
Yeah.
Come come hell or high water.
But that is
and
what.
the others,
that is why.
the others being afraid to come straight out, except Motley and perhaps Gaston Brown.
That is
being
why.
Afraid to.
That is why when you were speaking earlier, I wanted to say I gotta tip my hat a bit to Ali, because knowing the gripe between him and Venezuela, it is good to see that at least he joined voices and doesn't want this zone of peace to be threatened.
Right, and so it's an opportune time for him to go a step further and make some concessions, not in terms of land.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your borders as it is, as I said, but give Venezuela concessions, just like they gave the U.S. companies concessions to develop the resources in that part of Ghana that is under,
dispute.
That is under. Well, right now I think they're in arbitration.
Yes.
With the world, one of the courts, the world courts.
Mm.
Okay, but I'm saying that they could move things forward and try to diffuse things in the. I just when I travel just now, I flew along there, and you know what I'm thinking all the time? The plane going along there, that region there. Suppose a stray missile.
Yeah, they put you on at unease.
Suppose a stray missile
put you on at now you hear poor fishermen saying they're afraid to go out and do their daily way of making living because, again, if a stray missile or something, they misconstrued you to be a drug runner or so on and so forth.
Imagine that, they're going to wait until something happens to a cruise ship to say, wait, we got to be more careful than this. And that's why I'm saying that I'm disappointed in the leaders. They should have already called a meeting to decide to say, to speak with one voice and say, look, we don't want no confusion down these paths.
But Mr. McMahon, I feel that it has. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But I feel that even if they were to do that, things has reached a point where it's going to take more than just our speaking, because we don't really have the significant power. Even though I agree with you that we should make our utterances in one voice. But
no. But you can no. Yes, I agree that the U.S. have so many assets down there now. Obviously, it's not for any drug.
Yeah.
To stop any drug trafficking. Right. But if there is an agreement with Venezuela and Guyana and CARICOM say to call elections supervised by the international community, right? And there are actual efforts to bring an end to the Guyana-Venezuela impasse. What excuse would the U.S. have now to invade? No.
Well, the question is, does
they
the U.S.
They want Maduro out, right? They're convinced that he did not win the election. What better way to get him out than to have a fresh election supervised by the international community? And if, as I say, he's not popular, he lose.
Yeah, but what if he doesn't lose? Remember, they want him out,
Well, if he doesn't lose, but that would put the U.S. in a quandary.
Because unknown to a lot of people, that same international body has been in there in the last 2 elections, and they said things were going good. They said you would be surprised at the things that Venezuela have when they go through their electoral system. They're well up to date with certain things, fingerprinting and all kind of certain things. But people just have this mindset that once you're not living in a democracy, that you're just not fair.
Well, and that's reasonable. If you're not living in a democracy, how can it be fair?
Yeah, but we've seen where democracies are not fair.
Even in a democracy, a lot of complaints about rigged elections
But
and
that is what I just said.
electoral lists
Even
and
in
all those kinds of things.
even in a democracy, we see a lot of unfairness. Hello,
Yeah.
caller. There's another caller. Sorry. Thanks for your patience. Hello, caller.
Prince, you can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, keep my horn on, please, man. I wanted to interject the regional problem earlier, but I couldn't hear you. You couldn't hear me.
Yes.
Yeah, let me ask two quick questions. Trinidad is a part of CARICOM, right?
Yes.
And Deacon Mitchell up in Grenada, did he make a statement this week yet about giving America permission to come in, yes or no?
I'm not too sure on that.
Nothing affirmative or negative.
Yeah. Okay.
He's still thinking about it.
Okay, thanks for that, Matt Mahon. And me and Matley made an electrifying speech about the situation, but I don't think that speech was directed straight to the Prime Minister, the new Prime Minister down there in Trinidad and Tobago, right? If we so want the region to remain a region of peace, and we have a CARICOM body, right? Trinidad is a part of that. But if CARICOM is speaking as one voice, and now we see Trinidad going against that voice, what can CARICOM do to Trinidad or the leader of Trinidad? That's what I want to put on the table, and then we can widen the discussion. And if we don't finish it up today, we can come back another day with that.
Well, we can't do anything about the leadership, the Trinidad politics. There's no sanction against any leader or leaders who sway from the majority opinion.
Yeah, because
CARICOM.
Because again, it's a democracy. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. There would be no sanction against it. So apart from trying to convince her to change her policy, that's as much as can be done. And interestingly enough, the idea behind that policy that she has is almost like the policy they had before, where that caused the federation to split.
I've said that.
Trinidad,
yes.
Yeah. Trinidad first. I'm looking after Trinidad's interests.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
And foremost, right? The energy deals.
What do you feel about her statement when she was asked about the fact that Venezuela has made them persona non grata or something to that extent, and her comment was, that doesn't affect me, meaning person. What do you feel about that expression?
Actually, I saw something. I don't know if it's an actual, if it's what's actually happening down there. But there seems that there might be some kind of revolt against her leadership. You saw it?
I heard yesterday that people were trying, even from some of her faction and others were trying to get in touch with her, and they could not. She was staying enclosed in her house, and they could not.
Or communicating by WhatsApp.
Yes, yeah.
Could you imagine that?
Could you imagine that?
Something is seriously wrong there. She is like she's on the siege or self-imposed exile.
And I even heard that the people were planning to using some kind of phrase as if they were planning to usurp her because she has been a derelict in her duties or something like that. But I don't know if they can do that, But those are the things being bandied about.
Yeah, So the whole point is though, right? To me, you realize that the U.S. hasn't really gone into Venezuela.
No.
Right? No. They're just threatening them.
Yeah. And I have a clip I'm going to play. It's 11 minutes, but I'm going to play it after we're finished to conclude the program, because it shows one of the reasons why, unknown to a lot of people, look, this isn't like once ago when the United States just did thing and you just run shot. Right now, China has been doing a build-up in Venezuela. Russia has been doing a build-up in Venezuela. And it's looking very, very ticklish.
Yeah, none of them want really to confront each other directly. Okay, a proxy war is something else. But to have their forces confront each other directly, that's a slippery slope, and you don't know where that would end.
But back
so
to
I think
Camilla.
that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons I think why they haven't really gone into Venezuela. That and the fact that even though they're big and powerful, and Donald Trump does what he likes and have his way kind of thing, they still want some semblance of justification. And if they don't want to offend, they would not like it if the whole region said, listen, we don't want this. They would not like it if Colombia or the other Caribbean countries, or the other countries bordering the Caribbean Sea, Colombia, Panama, all those countries, say Mexico, say they're against this. Right? As much as they have the power to do it, I think they want a fig leaf.
I agree. But back to Camilla. That's her name, Camilla? Kamala. Okay. Back to her. That statement. The reason I asked the question about her statement, that statement that she made about this doesn't affect me. My understanding is that is what has caused the big uproar, because the people say, how dare you bring this down to a personal level? It's not supposed to be about you. It's supposed to be about us. You're a representative of us. So,
to be quite honest, I was never impressed, not even in the first term, impressed with her leadership. Never. Right? She had some strange, for one thing, it's all right. It's all well and good to be outspoken and firm and all of that as a leader, but it's another thing to be in your face. And I found she was too in your face, talking about Trinidad isn't an ATM for the rest of the Caribbean and all of those.
Which is why you made the statement about reminiscent of the Federation, and break up.
Yes, exactly. Trinidad is not as strong as it was before. Their oil reserves, I don't know if the oil reserves are depleting, but they have to get new reserves, and so.
But here's the thing. Mr. McMahon. I'm glad you brought that part in, because here's Venezuela. A prior deal was almost on the wraps, where Venezuela, who everybody wants to say, Venezuela's, and they're not a democracy and so, but Venezuela didn't have a problem with, they have this raw, thick oil, right, crude oil, and they didn't have a problem with saying, okay, you can, the Trinidad and Tobago has the pipelines and the refinery, which are American owned, right, and Venezuela didn't have a problem saying, well, we're going to help you pipe the oil from us so that you can refine it in your proximity, and then whatever you sell, we share, the outcome.
Right.
But then
that's the Dragon deal.
Yes,
Dragon deal, right?
but then the United States just jump in and decide, no, they informed Camilla when she won that you're not going to pay him in cash, you're going to pay him in kind. So look at the ridiculousness of it. So you're going to ship a heavy crude oil from you through pipelines to be refined, and when it's refined, the Americans think that the Venezuelans are so stupid that you're just going to give them back the refined oil. Venezuela wants cash, because all of the things that the United States has done to them and seized their assets and all that kind of stuff, they want cash. So it shows you again how the United States will go in and disrupt things, and she agreed with them that she's going to pay in kind, and Venezuela said, no, we want cash.
But you see, this is why I say that it's very pivotal that Ali gets more involved, because he can't be sure that even if there's a change of administration in Venezuela, that Venezuela going to give up the claim,
Yeah, that's true.
Right? It's better to deal with a weakened Maduro, to me, than
someone who might come in with
Nobel,
Yeah.
Who is essentially in Trump's pocket. And,
listen to this clip here. Listen to this.
Look at the woman who they want to put in charge. She's the Nobel War Prize winner, Maria Corina Machado. And look at what she told Donald Trump Jr.
Forget about Saudi Arabia. Forget about the Saudis. We have more oil. Venezuela has huge resources: oil, gas, minerals, land, technology, infinite potential. And as you said before, we have a strategic location, ours from the United States. So we're going to do this right. We know what we have to do. And American companies are in, super strategic position to invest. Forget about Saudi Arabia. Forget about the Saudis. This country, Venezuela, is going to be the brightest opportunity for investment of American companies, of good people that are going to make a lot of money.
Donald Trump Jr. interviewing the Nobel Peace Prize winner about how she wants to help the U.S. loot her country and steal its resources and cause even more migration.
She's basically saying she's going to mass impoverish Venezuelans to enrich the people who are paying for her existence. After Hugo Chavez fought the managerial class in Venezuela for control of PDVSA, the state oil company, and they sanctioned Venezuela. Starting in 2015, Obama started the war to destroy the oil exports. In 2019, our colleague Anya Parampil reported on a State Department document that was actually scrubbed from the website, but she caught it before it was gone, where they boasted about all the economic damage through sanctions. And now Maria Corina Machado wants to privatize everything and hand it over to Trump Incorporated after winning the Nobel Peace Prize. So this is the woman they want to put in power through force. She'll ride in.
Yeah. So
imagine that.
Imagine that. Here, you listen to this significant part. Forget about the Saudis. Forget about the Saudis. You could imagine
the Saudis,
You could imagine that statement. Wow.
And that is why, Quinn. Most people, as you pointed out, they're not going to go into the depth of these things, right? They don't have time for that.
No.
So they'll just look at superficial stuff.
Yeah, well, she won the
right?
Nobel Peace Prize, and she's the best to lead, and we're going to get things back on track, but the whole thing is set up.
Yeah, poor us are just little pawns
in the big chess game.
On a chessboard.
Yeah.
And that is why we have to be so careful about things like the SSC.
Yeah.
There's hidden stuff behind that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Our leaders might know and not telling us, but you can bet your life it's not just all glossy and so on. They're keeping a lot of things from us.
Yeah.
They're very untrustworthy. You can't be trusted. They're not telling us stuff that they already know.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyhow, that's the environment we have to deal with.
Yeah.
At some point or the other, and we see that all the time. Elections have consequences. If we aren't careful with who we elect as our leaders, we're going to go down some terrible roads.
Terrible roads,
And we've seen it. We've seen it time and time again. Okay? Be very careful when these people come around and asking for your vote. Make sure you ask them the right questions. Probe and ask them, and especially if you have a record already.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you said you'd do this. How come you haven't?
Yeah.
Those kinds of hard questions need to be asked. Okay? Otherwise, things will never change.
No, yeah, I
you
agree.
have this revolving door of people who take advantage of poor people.
Yeah. Well, I want you, when we wrap up, I want you to listen to the clip I'm going to play after. Burl,
sure.
Could you make your statement?
Yeah, well, concerning the regional issue with Venezuela, well, we see our leaders, how they're moving contrary to what the people want. And we see the Prime Minister down there in Trinidad and Tobago, since she makes a decision going against the people, and then now the people might be agitated. And question again, is Maduro is going to look at Trinidad now as an enemy, and does it really stay there? Is he going to look at the whole region as an enemy?
Well, not
Right.
really. I would think that Maduro is trying his own strategy to negotiate, to put out certain things, and depending on what the present leader of Trinidad and Tobago, how her posture is going to go, or maybe down the line, because things evolve.
But Quint,
Yeah.
Quint, I just recently spoke to somebody from Venezuela
Yes.
who I met on traveling, and he is convinced, he's a supporter, right?
Yes.
But he's convinced that Maduro is gone. He's gonna be out of there. Okay, he don't think he's gonna last. Right? He says that what's her name, Maria or whatever, is weak and is essentially going to be a puppet, but he thinks Maduro's days are numbered, and that is why.
Well,
I'm saying,
I disagree, though. I
remember,
could be
remember
wrong.
he has a $50 million reward, and he said, I think he's more concerned about staying alive than anything else.
Yeah, but you think he's going to leave Venezuela? It's not likely he's going to do that. And look at the one who was in before him, Chavez. You understand? So they've been backed in a corner. I agree, but I don't think that that I disagree that he's gone. But I'm not perfect. Yeah, I'm not perfect. I could be dead wrong, but I'm just going by what I feel and the way I see things playing out. And his present alliance with Russia, 3 places: Russia, China, and a lot of people aren't aware that Iran is in the game too, because Iran has been
in the game. Iran is in the game.
Yeah, Iran has been getting oil from Venezuela. Their tankers have been going through here to get oil, because how the Middle East and the Saudis are.
Let me suggest to you that the geopolitics, what would happen in geopolitics is that they're going to bargain, and well, first of all, Venezuela is in the Western Hemisphere.
Yes.
China and Russia is east. And what is more likely to happen, who should be really nervous is Taiwan, because I don't think China for sure is, and that's for the reason I think they haven't even gone to United Nations about this. They would say, well, you can't tell me not to invade China when you just invade Venezuela. There are those things that I think are going on in the background. Similarly, with Russia and Ukraine and Venezuela, there's some triangle there. Where Trump may be saying you stop the Ukraine war and I wouldn't go to Venezuela.
Yeah, but you think that Korea has the the wherewithal to come up against China?
Who?
Korea. Isn't Korea who you?
No, not Korea.
Taiwan.
Yes, Taiwan. Do you think they have the wherewithal to come up against China?
China? No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay,
China would eventually overrun them.
Yeah.
They have good equipment and so on, and probably good at using it, but they'll be just sheer numbers.
Yeah.
Gonna overwhelm them.
Yeah. So then, why use that as an expression that they would say, well, we can't do this because you just did Venezuela? I don't.
No. It's still, yes, there's a new, well, not new yet, but there's still some semblance of order, right, in the world.
I agree.
Right? And so it is still not fashionable for people, for the big powers, to just get up and do what they like with small ones.
Yeah,
but they like that, yes.
But they've done that for 400 years.
No. But what I'm saying is, they can look at what Trump said. It wasn't often repeated, but Trump actually told Israel, "You can't fight the world." In other words, Israel could do whatever it liked, right? Because it had the power to do it. But when the world opinion still counts for something. So it isn't that and that's one of the reasons I think they're still holding back on Venezuela, right?
Yes.
I mean, even in the U.S., people are questioning, well, are these people, do you know for sure these people are drug traffickers, all of them?
Yeah.
Can you just take out a boat in international water?
But Mr. McMahon, it's from what I'm gathering, the majority of the world hasn't bought this, you know.
But they ain't saying nothing against it. They ain't trying to. You hear anybody trying to stop it?
That is true. But when you listen to them speak individually in their various aspects and so forth, that is what they're implying. But you're right, they're not, because again.
How come the UN what do you call it? That the highest level of the UN. What do you call them? The Security.
Yes, Council.
What's the name? The correct name. I forgot the correct name. Security Council, I think it is.
Yes, yeah.
Right. How come they haven't met to try to head off any conflict?
Because look,
any one of them, Russia, China.
Well, Russia and China,
France, the permanent members.
Russia and China won't do that because there's a sort of a seeming swing in the superpower structure of the world, and Russia and China can benefit from that swing. So they won't do it. But here's the other aspect of it. We know how the United Nations stands. You listen to what Marco Rubio said recently about the United Nations in relation to Venezuela and Maduro. Marco Rubio emphatically said, the United Nations, I don't care what the United Nations says. The United Nations doesn't know what's happening. They don't know what's going on. This man has been indicted in the United States of America, and he's a criminal, and so that is what Marco Rubio said. So it shows you that they do not respect the United Nations, and this is why a lot of African countries are rethinking how and is it of any consequence to be going to the United Nations. You take it from me, over time people are going to just start breaking away from that United Nations.
If they don't do something about this, you know what's next on the agenda? Eh?
Well,
Cuba. You could bet your life if they're successful in regime change in Venezuela and taking over that country, Cuba is next in the sights.
Yeah, but I don't believe they
Cuba's
will
going to be next in the sights.
I don't believe they will.
You don't think they will be?
Will be, no.
Why not?
Because of the clip I'm going to play when I'm finished. And
okay, because
like I said, this world isn't the way it was before. Because there's you suggested it before, you know. Apart from what we are seeing, what is the term that you use? Something political, geopolitics or
geopolitics.
There's a geopolitical sort of a chess game going on presently, right? And it is about how that will play out. It is if they're gonna test to see if Trump will have the will to say that he's going to really invade Venezuela. Because let me tell you this, Maduro he knows he's like a rat with his back against the wall, and Maduro, from his statements and the build-up of armaments in Venezuela, he's going to go down fighting. They're not just going to go in.
You think so?
That is how it's going to go out. This is why I disagree with you that in terms of this woman, I agree with you that yes, if they win and they put her in, she'll be a puppet. But I believe that presently in Venezuela, they need someone with the kind of stance of Maduro and the stance that Chavez had too. They don't want a weak person in there right now.
I don't know. I don't know. Quinn, after all these years of sanctions and so on, people tired, you know.
That is true. That is true.
No, I was in Venezuela. I was in Venezuela a few years ago, right? And the taxi driver who took me around. I was saying how grateful we are to Venezuela for the Petrocaribe thing and so on and so on. And he says, "Oh, you're a Chavista," meaning that you know you're back in Chavez.
Yes.
But most people here, right, just tired of the sanctions, tired
because
of the shortages.
Because it's
remember,
a bread
Venezuela
and
used to
butter
be rich,
issue.
you know.
Yeah, I understand that part. But here's what I'm saying. I am saying when Trump started to build up his armaments in the region, he expected a capitulation quickly. That is what I'm saying. And it is not playing out in the way that he would.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, it is not. But when I finish, listen to the clip, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So
right.
we're gonna wrap up now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You take care.
Yeah. Okay.
And make sure you listen to this clip, okay?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to play this clip now, and then I'm gonna conclude. Just listen to this. This is more into the terms of geopolitics and the way how it's playing out. It's a synopsis history also for those of you who aren't aware of the history. And let me again say to the caller who called and was making the statement about Russia and the Soviet Union and my statement that the Ukraine was a part of the Soviet Union. Again, you were not wrong, but neither was I completely wrong either, because I'm speaking about the blurred lines of the Soviet Union and why Russians are or were in certain other parts of the Soviet states. You understand? That existed because there were more of there was supposed to be more of a cohesive unit. Even though I get what you're saying, and this is why you find that with the Ukraine now, and people, a lot of Russians being there, and you have this ethnic kind of thing, ethnic kind of cleansing that is wanting, some people are wanting and that kind of stuff. But the question is, why is there a big buildup of Russia, not only in the Ukraine, but in other former Soviet states and regions, okay? So whenever we speak or whenever I speak, we must all remember the blurred lines of history and historical lines and boundaries and geopolitics, okay? Always be aware of that. We cannot just make statements and expect that our statements have clear lines of distinction, not when we know the history of the geopolitics and all that kind of stuff. So listen to this clip now.
What's unfolding today in the Caribbean off the Venezuelan coast is more than just another regional confrontation. Today, the story unfolding in the Caribbean.
And let me interject, I'm going to start it back from the top. This is a world-renowned economist doing this narration, right? So let me start this from the top again. This is a world-renowned economist who is aware of how things have played out and who is kind of trying to see if he can determine how they will play out. We're not sure. We're only doing from our own analysis and doing our own and our own speculation, coming to our own, I'm looking for a word here, our own theory, okay? Theory. So remember, when we speak in these terms and we speak on different issues, the lines are not always clear, but we're looking at the bigger picture and how things can tend to play out. So I'm starting back the clip from the beginning.
What's unfolding today in the Caribbean off the Venezuelan coast is more than just another regional confrontation. Today, the story unfolding in the Caribbean and off the Venezuelan coast has become a symbol of what I call the new global reordering, the unraveling of a unipolar world dominated by the United States, and the birth of a multipolar balance that Washington can no longer fully control. The news that Venezuela has deployed Russian-made ship-killer missiles, even as U.S. warships patrol nearby waters, has set off a wave of anxiety in Washington. But this event isn't isolated. It's a reflection of the deeper economic and geopolitical shifts that define our age. Let's unpack this moment not as a single confrontation, but as an expression of decades of policies, contradictions, and power struggles that have shaped the modern capitalist world system. When we hear headlines about missiles deployments or Trump tightening his grip on Venezuela, we must always ask what lies beneath. Beneath the military hardware and the diplomatic posturing is an economic struggle, a battle over oil, sovereignty, and the right to control one's own resources. Venezuela, along one of the world's richest nations in terms of crude reserves, has been under relentless economic siege from the United States for years. Sanctions have crippled its financial system, cut off trade, and isolated it from global markets. Yet it is precisely under that pressure that we now see a new alliance taking shape. It's a microcosm of a larger transformation, what I would call the global reordering of power. The old unipolar world, long dominated by the United States, is giving way to something far more complex, far less controllable, a multipolar system. And with this shift, Washington's long-held ability to dictate outcomes across the planet is being tested like never before. News has spread that Venezuela, a nation once treated as a client state of the U.S., has now deployed advanced Russian-made anti-ship missiles, even as American warships patrol nearby waters. It's a development that has rattled Washington, and for good reason. But what we must understand is that this is not a random provocation or an isolated act of defiance. It's part of a deeper historical and economic process, the result of decades of imperial strategy, economic warfare, and shifting global alliances. Beneath the military maneuvers, beneath the rhetoric of security and democracy, lies the real battle, one over resources, sovereignty, and the right of nations to control their own destinies. Venezuela sits atop some of the world's richest oil reserves. Now, let's return to the present moment. American warships in the Caribbean, framed as part of anti-narcotics missions, serve another purpose, entirely power projection. It's a reminder to the world and to U.S. voters that Washington still commands the seas. Yet even that dominance is no longer absolute. The Russian-made missile systems stationed along Venezuela's coast were designed precisely to deter advanced naval fleets. Their range, precision, and mobility make them formidable. More importantly, their presence alters the strategic psychology of the region. For the first time, a U.S. task force operating in the Western Hemisphere faces the reality of possible resistance, a challenge to its sense of invulnerability. Trump's Venezuela strategy was built on nostalgia, the belief that sanctions and covert pressure could recreate Cold War-style outcomes. But the global economy no longer operates under those conditions. Supply chains are globalized, energy routes diversified, and major powers now respond to U.S. coercion with collective defiance. When Washington blocked Venezuelan crude exports, Russian firms stepped in. When U.S. sanctions choked off fuel imports, Iran delivered. Each countermeasure weakened America's monopoly on enforcement. What we're seeing is the unraveling of unilateral power in a multipolar system. From a Marxian economic lens, this is the predictable outcome of imperial overreach. The U.S. capitalist class, accustomed to unchallenged global dominance, now faces competitors it cannot easily suppress. And rather than adapt, it doubles down through tariffs, sanctions, and militarized diplomacy. These are not signs of confidence, but of crisis. For decades, Washington's influence over global oil pricing, dollar dominance, and trade routes gave it near total leverage. But over the past 2 decades, that grip has weakened. When the United States imposed economic sanctions on Venezuela, cutting off trade, freezing assets, and strangling its access to global markets, it believed it could force the government in Caracas to submit. Instead, the opposite happened. Under pressure, Venezuela turned outward and eastward. It began building ties with Russia, China, Iran, and other nations also wary of Washington's dominance. In effect, the very sanctions designed to isolate Venezuela have helped to forge a counter network, a coalition of nations challenging the USA-centric global order. From an economist's perspective, this is crucial. What's emerging here isn't just an ideological or military confrontation, it's an economic realignment. It's about who controls markets, energy flows, and the financial systems that sustain global capitalism. For over 70 years, the American empire rested on a simple foundation: control oil, price it in dollars, and use military dominance to secure shipping routes. That formula gave the U.S. not only immense wealth, but global influence. Today, for the first time since the Second World War, that model is under threat. The deployment of Russian missile systems in Venezuela is a geopolitical signal, a declaration that Washington's sphere of influence in the Western Hemisphere, enshrined in the old Monroe Doctrine, is no longer sacrosanct. When Donald Trump reinstated harsh sanctions and tightened his administration's grip on Venezuela, he expected economic pain to bring submission. Instead, that pain pushed Venezuela into the arms of America's rivals. Russia saw an opportunity not only to sell weapons, but to extend its strategic reach into a region long considered off limits. Chinese firms, meanwhile, deepened investments in Venezuelan oil infrastructure. Iran, defying U.S. naval patrols, sent tanker after tanker with desperately needed fuel. The message from Caracas was clear: the age of unilateral control is over. Now, when Americans hear of Russian ship killer missiles on Venezuelan soil, they often imagine a direct threat, the possibility of confrontation so close to home. But for many Venezuelans, and indeed for much of the global South, those missiles are symbols of sovereignty. They represent the right of a small, sanctioned nation to defend itself against decades of external coercion. And for the first time in a long time, the psychological balance has shifted. The U.S. Navy, long accustomed to patrolling the Caribbean unchallenged, must now acknowledge the possibility of real resistance. To grasp the full significance of this shift, we must turn to history. During the Cold War, Washington treated Latin America as its own private domain. Any government that dared to pursue socialist or nationalist policies was met with intervention, military coups in Chile, covert operations in Nicaragua, blockades in Cuba. Venezuela's Bolivarian Revolution, first under Hugo Chavez and later under Nicolas Maduro, inherited that same legacy of resistance. But unlike earlier movements, Caracas adapted its defiance to a globalized economy. It sought new trade partners, new technologies, and new financial systems, ones that bypass the U.S. dollar entirely. This is what truly threatens Washington. Not a few missile batteries, but a structural shift away from the dollar-dominated order. The dollar is more than currency. It's an instrument of power. It allows the United States to impose economic blockades, control global transactions, and punish adversaries without firing a single shot. Yet the overuse of this weapon is backfiring. Every sanctioned country, Russia, China, Iran, and now Venezuela, is developing alternatives. New payment systems, bilateral trade in local currencies, and digital reserve mechanisms are emerging. Each step weakens dollar dependency. From an economic standpoint, this marks a tectonic transition. The slow but steady erosion of the financial empire that sustained U.S. hegemony since 1945. Now, let's return to the present moment. American warships in the Caribbean, framed as part of anti-narcotics missions, serve another purpose entirely: power projection. It's a reminder to the world and to U.S. voters that Washington still commands the seas. Yet even that dominance is no longer absolute. The Russian-made missile systems stationed along Venezuela's coast were designed precisely to deter advanced naval fleets. Their range, precision, and mobility make them formidable. More importantly, their presence alters the strategic psychology of the region. For the first time, a U.S. task force operating in the Western Hemisphere faces the reality of possible resistance, a challenge to its sense of invulnerability. Trump's Venezuela strategy was built on nostalgia, the belief that sanctions and covert pressure could recreate Cold War-style outcomes. But the global economy no longer operates under those conditions. Supply chains are globalized, energy routes diversified, and major powers now respond to U.S. coercion with collective defiance.
Yeah, there you had it, from a world-renowned economist. And it is important that our Caribbean leaders be aware of these kinds of narrations and these kinds of theories, because if they become aware of this and they stop rushing to conclusions or throwing up their hands and acquiescing, we could see a different fallout in the Caribbean region. In other words, what I'm saying is, instead of Caribbean leaders, just when they get some pressure, instead of you just throwing up your hands and giving in, if you move as a united Caribbean front, you never know what could play out because of the way this could play out in terms of Venezuela. And this is why I said to Mr. McMahon that you need a strong personality like Maduro, who knows his back is against the wall and who will do whatever he has to do to make sure that he can survive. If he goes down, but someone is going to pay the penalty. And because of that threat, there must be a geopolitical rethinking now of how will we commence, how will we move forward, how will we proceed, how will we tackle this, because it has the potential to be explosive. Okay? So that is how I'm going to end things for today. Ah, man. A whole hour after. We're not going to make a habit of this, but as today there was no voices, and the topic was rather juicy, I thought I'd just venture into that. Do take care. Have yourself a great day and a great life.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or DIY project.